Welcome to the stage where hearts unfold in the morning glow, stories untold. Let's play with words, a masterpiece of art where dialogues bloom, igniting in every heart. Let's tap into the ocean of thoughts where waves of healing gently sold. Let's paint with words, a masterpiece of art where dialogues bloom, igniting every heart. Let's dive into the ocean of thoughts where waves of healing gently sought. Together we'll mend, stitch by stitch in the morning glow. Let's make the switch. A symphony of voices, harmonizing the air, echoing truth, banishing despair. Let's sow seeds of unity, watch them grow in this garden of hope under the morning glow. Let's bridge the gaps, erase the line in the tapestry of hearts that love shine. With every word, a step we take towards a brighter dawn for all our sake. Welcome to the morning glow, where dreams take flight in this realm of possibilities. Let's unite, together we stand, hand in hand, healing the nation across the land. Let's dive into the ocean of thoughts where waves of healing gently sought. Together we'll mend, stitch by stitch, in the morning glow. Let's make the switch. Let's dive into the ocean of thoughts where waves of healing gently sought. Together we'll mend, stitch by stitch, in the morning glow. Let's make the switch. Let's symphony of voices, harmonizing the air, echoing true.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. My name is Raheem Ajmi out of Atlanta, Georgia, but I got my brothers from another mother, but we got the same father. First on the long is on the line, I said in the long. Well, Lord Jesus, Dr. J, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Good morning, my brother. How you doing?
Hey,
And good
doing
morning to everybody else that's listening.
good deal. I'm high and a happy elephant and elated and porcupine proud to be here on this Monday morning. And I want to say before we get started, man, I want to thank everybody that participated in the prayer breakthrough over the weekend, over Friday night. We said we was gonna do it from 9 until 12. It was I think it was a huge success. I think he heard us. I think he heard our prayer. I think it was a huge success, man. And we actually started right at 9 on time, and we went all we passed midnight. Actually we end up ending about maybe about 12, 15, something like that, because we had just that many people that wanted to make themselves available to pray with us. And so I want to take this opportunity right now and thank everybody that did that. So thank you very much. Thank you. Definitely appreciate it. Badger, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Another beautiful day we get to share together.
How was that prayer breakthrough for you, Badger? And Badger prayed with us, y'all. Badger came through and Badger prayed. Yes, he did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was. What'd you think about it?
It was interesting.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah.
We shall see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See how everything moves forward, right? How everything moves forward. Dr. J, I didn't ask you on air, brother. What'd you think about it?
I think it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
For it being the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it was
Mm-hmm.
pretty good.
Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, man. I definitely enjoyed it, man. And like I said, we had a lot of people came together, man, and from all over. People from all over was calling in and praying with us, and so That's the unity of all people coming together, man. It was very interesting. I definitely enjoyed it. But I'm gonna jump to one of my topics today. Good morning, James. How you doing, sir? I see you over there, James. Good morning. How you doing, James? Man, James always support us, man. I want to take the opportunity to thank Mr. James Bird. Mr. James Bird. Good morning, sir. Jay, I want to ask you a question, brother. As men, and we might break it down a little more later on in the conversation. But as men, do we always understand the strength of a woman and how strong women are?
I don't think so.
Mhm.
I think because we've always been told that the woman is the weaker vessel,
Mhm.
you know, and it's word. But weak don't always mean lack of strength.
Mhm.
I would say it like this: where would you be without the woman that's behind you?
Ooh, Lord Jesus.
You know,
Mhm.
you know, there are the weaker vessels because the word says it, but we underestimate the strength though. They're
Mhm.
weaker in the areas that we are designed to handle. But again, there isn't a man on the face of this earth, I don't think have or will be. Um, it again, it takes that woman.
Mhm.
I think some brothers do underestimate that. Um, I've learned to appreciate that, and you know what I had to do right here one time. My daughter and I was having a conversation, and I had got upset about it because I didn't like the way she responded to me. And the Lord said, "She's not a girl.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
She's
Yep.
your daughter. She's not a girl. She's a woman."
Mhm.
And it was at that moment I realized that she has a lot, even as a young lady, she has so much wisdom. And it had been shown the 8 years we lived together, the wisdom she had, where I wasn't able to do different things. And she knew. And even this, Raheem, she was my strength when I was weak. I remember
Yes.
going through something and telling her, "Look, you got to do this and this because this is happening to me, and I don't want you around this." And she was my backbone. She was like, "Look,
Mhm.
I'm not going anywhere."
Mhm.
She made me feel like I could do anything,
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
and that
That
don't
that
just come from a daughter. That's a woman. Period.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, man. I start getting excited when you start talking about our sisters.
Yeah. And see, and we should. And we should because like I said, a lot of times, man, when we're at our weakest point, they could come in and say something, do something, or something, and just make us feel like we could jump up and fly through that brick wall that's before us, man.
Mhm.
We could just fly right through it, man. Tear it down, destroy it, just like that.
There's this song by Eric Robinson. He says, "A man loves a woman
Mm-hmm.
based on how she make him feel.
Mm-hmm.
She can make him feel like he's king of the world."
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you know, sometimes it's just a simple rub on the head. It's
Yeah.
just a simple, "It's gonna be all right."
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Exactly.
So yes,
Exactly.
I think a lot of times brothers do underestimate that.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go somewhere with this conversation as well, but let me go to Badger. Badger, do we as men, not personalize it, but as men as a whole, do we understand the strength of women?
We're not taught to.
Mm-hmm.
We're taught most men are taught that they're superior,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets lost in translation because of that. you
Mm-hmm.
know, Dr. J just said a mouthful. You know, women can easily make us feel like kings, or go in the polar opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
Time and time again with many men's words, you know, you don't want to upset grandma. You can't mess with my daughter, you know. Oh, I don't upset the wife. Looks like I'm in the doghouse.
Mm-hmm.
So many examples of I cannot find a kind word. Um, mm, you know where I was going, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What word fits that?
Kind word.
Well, a word that's more socially appropriate, because some people get sensitive.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to search myself on that one, Badger. I'm not clear.
So, but sitting and like really thinking about it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a lot of us come from this being descendants of human beings,
Mm-hmm.
and this ain't a race thing. This is we are humans. We are descendants from humans that
Mm-hmm.
have been treated in all kinds of different ways by those in charge,
Mm-hmm.
be it through, any of the isms, classism, racism, so on and so on, and they don't want us to have a relationship with God,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and all kinds of stuff. So it does, it used to upset me and anger me. So I asked God to, show me why. Do so many men treat women horribly or
Mm-hmm.
treat them less than? So I started studying and talking to sociologists. Probably not saying that right.
Yeah, that was it.
And theologists and stuff like that. And got into like learning a whole lot about it. So it's because it was always funny to me. I'd hear men say one thing about their wives and their grandmas and stuff like that. But it's almost like their pride or ego gets touched or tickled a little bit, and all of a sudden, but I'm head of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, but that's not what? Now, 100, yeah, that makes sense. Because it's a skill set, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like the woman will acknowledge our strengths and weaknesses, aren't we supposed to do the same?
Supposed to.
But if we let this toxic thought of we're number one,
Mm-hmm.
it pushes on that ego and pride.
Why
And for
why do
me,
you say toxic?
oh man. So that goes into a whole history lesson and all kinds of stuff, because you have to you have to read the diaries of King James and a lot of the stuff that hasn't been exactly public teachings
Mm-hmm.
of how they changed words for certain things so they could push a certain psychology onto the people.
Mm-hmm.
Just like they pulled in Yule, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really knows when Christ was born, so they adopted a Roman god and used his birthday,
Mm-hmm.
and so on and so on.
Mm.
So they've used psychology tactics on the human populace for a long time, but their armies were bigger than the ones that they were going after. So yeah, it's going to give the illusion that their god is better than the other god,
Mm-hmm.
the pagan god, excuse me, and so on and so on. Psychological warfare is one of the most under mm, misunderstood tactics out there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because people don't want to accept the fact that they've been manipulated or
Mm-hmm.
illusioned, because therefore you have to accept that you're wrong, and people don't want to do that.
Mm. Dr. J, what do you say to that? How you feel about that?
I it was too deep for me, to be honest with you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and mainly because I'm thinking. Um, I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I, if I could give you what I was thinking, the more I learned about me, the more I began to understand and to appreciate the woman. And her weakness is there to reveal my strength. And it's 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 learning about me that makes me, as you get older, I never understood when they would say, as you get older, your desires change. And I had a cousin who was up in age who said, at a certain point in life, when you marry, you don't marry for love.
Mm.
I was like, man, you crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But then I understand a lot more now. You
Mm-hmm.
don't marry, and his thing was, you don't marry for love, because after a while, you begin to love that person you marry based on the qualities of that person. And when you marry based on the qualities of that person, you begin to fall in love with the qualities of that person, because that person began to, like I say, when you start talking about women, and when I say sisters, I'm talking about no matter what race they is.
Yeah.
For me, learning me, Raheem, finding out about me, the more I learn about me, the more I began to understand that I need that woman to enhance what is already there. Now, at one time, I thought I needed that woman to put it there or make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I find me in the word, the more I start realizing that woman is not there to make it happen or to put it there. She's there to enhance what is already there. So I learned to appreciate the sisters and see the value. Again, I found my strength is in her weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
It's having that sister, and I'm learning this through dealing with my girls. It's what they can't do that teaches me what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
So redefining the whole process of how I think when it comes to sisters, not seeing them as a place to relieve myself, but yet a place that I can go and get released mentally
Mm-hmm.
and everything else. And that's where a lot of men sometimes lose their wives, because they just go there and that's just a place for them to release themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But and that goes back to what you said, when we talked about the other day, man, when you tap into the genuineness and the realness of a woman, we ain't talking about one of them out there in the world and this and that, but that one that has them special qualities. That
Mm-hmm.
one that when you first look at it, you know what? That's mine right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because something get ignited in you. Again, you could take this radio show. If that lady weren't in your life, this show
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be what it is.
Yeah.
This show
Yeah.
ain't got nothing with the people that's on the show, as much
Mm-hmm.
as that person that's behind you that keeps you going, that's waking
Mm-hmm.
you up and have you ready, make you put the tie on right.
Yeah.
Put
Yeah.
don't put that shirt on. Look, take that
Mm-hmm.
shirt off, put this tie on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the backbone of it right there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Captain Leonard, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Leonard, we asking a question, and as men, not individualized, but as a whole, as men, do we understand the strength of women and how much strength they really have, or do we take it for granted and just assume?
I believe everybody understands, but it's different for some people.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been on a team of men against women.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never been against women.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
ain't never thought less of women.
we're not talking about being against women. We're talking about, do we really understand or acknowledge how strong they are?
Well, it really depends. Some of y'all just dumb.
Y'all.
Men,
Mm. Mm.
you don't care.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, you don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice.
Is that an issue? Is that a problem?
It's yeah, in relationships it is.
Mm-hmm.
Single people don't have to worry as much
Mm-hmm.
because they're not trying to interact with people
Mm-hmm.
on that, that way.
So should they be on an island by themselves somewhere?
But just no.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not really sure because I wasn't here, when you first started.
Mm-hmm.
But women and women supposed to be together.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't get along with somebody like this, especially when you're talking about men and women, something wrong with you.
Mm.
If you can't get along, it ain't just with women. You probably can't get along with men and nobody else. You just ain't a decent person and you're not compatible.
Well, you do have that caveman.
So
You do have that caveman out there that think that he's dominant over women, and women supposed to be subservient to him. You have those cavemen out there.
he can think what he wants and he has to find a woman that's that dumb.
Mm-hmm.
See, dumb people look for dumber people,
Mm-hmm.
especially men.
Mm-hmm.
They look for people to dominate. It's more about dominating, I think, when it comes to that situation. But I don't buy into this. People don't know who they with and can't get along and all that type of thing because of some divide or what have you. I've just never been in that.
Mm-hmm.
A woman is my mate, not my adversary, not less than me, or anything of that nature. I was not taught that way.
See,
so I don't look at women that way.
See, in that we're personalizing. I say we're not going to personalize it because everybody got their own personal feelings.
Well, that's the only way I know how to talk. I don't talk
I'm
to
talking
other
about
people.
as
It's
a
okay.
no. You, Leonard, you see other things as well. You see the picture that's before you as well. You have your perception of that picture, but you see the picture. And I've seen many men that treat women much like you're talking about right now, much like we had said, like they're subservient to them. I'm the head of this house. I dominate. I run this. I run it. No, bruh. But I've seen men
I've made it my
way.
business not to associate with that type of man.
But you know they exist. That's why you elected to walk away. So they do
But
exist.
I'm not really concerned about them that much.
That's not what we're talking about.
I'm not really. It takes a concern. I'm worried about the woman that God has blessed me with.
Mm-hmm.
Really, not other people's women.
Mm. Wow.
That's not my concern.
Mm. That goes right back to Badger. Am I my brother's keeper?
No, you can't keep my wife. I don't want you to bother with my wife.
Yeah, I said Badger, brother.
Oh.
What a morning.
It's like they waited the whole weekend for this, right?
Right? Sheesh.
Hey,
you over here just laughing?
Hey, me and Leonard.
Trying to stay focused.
You should have seen we was in the studio together, man. Me and Leonard, man, we go back and forth like that almost every other day or every day, and then we'll go have breakfast. Man, you hungry, man? Yeah, come on, let's go get some breakfast. He said he can't hang out with me because I talk to everybody, but outside of that, we have good times.
So the brother's keeper, right?
Yeah. Are you your brother's keeper, Badger?
I do my best.
Mm-hmm.
And it also depends on how you perceive it.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of what Leonard's work is.
Mm-hmm.
And he does what he's called to. And he helps those that are ready to help themselves. As far as I go.
Yeah.
I know what you're asking.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm getting there because for each one of us, we help folks based on the path we're on.
Mm-hmm.
There are folks I help that I don't even think you would.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And there's probably folks that you help that I probably wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing on you, and that's not a bad thing on me.
Mm-hmm.
We walk different roads.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I deal with a lot of the gaming world. I deal with a lot of younger folks. I do a lot in the disability world. Um, and then there's the Native American side of things too, for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think you wouldn't mess with the native world, would you?
Of course.
So,
My what was not known, my grandmother out of North Carolina was she had a lot of energy in her.
it's because you have to learn a lot about culture, you have to learn a
Mm-hmm.
lot about the words, the
Mm-hmm.
vocabulary, and all types of things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's so much with that. So most of us on this show practice being our brother's keeper and our sister's keepers.
Watch this. Leonard, are you your brother's keeper?
I don't care for that as it relates to people acting as if it's my responsibility. No,
Mm-hmm.
I believe in individual freedom.
Okay. Dr. J, are you your brother's keeper? I'm not finished, Badge. We're coming back.
I am, but only to those who want to be kept.
Mm-hmm.
If
How,
they don't,
how do you identify?
it's like, for one, if I don't see a change, if I don't hear a change, I mean, we there should be some sort of change to show that you wanna. What I had to learn, the hardest thing I had to learn is not everybody want change.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like to be in the company of change without accepting it because it makes a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, if I don't see a change, then I vacate the premises. I mean, it don't make sense to stick around. I can't force what I believe on the next person. And I think Badger had asked you something. For me, I'm very rounded. Um, I got all kind of friends from
Mm-hmm.
all different races, religions, and everything and so when I say I'm my brother's keeper, yes, because there are so many different brothers that I deal with on so many different levels. And then there are some that just they don't want change. I don't throw them away. I just don't spend time having serious conversations with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, they get frustrated. And Leonard said something important. Some people look for dumber people to talk. Dumb people look for dumber people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes dumb people are, and that's not a nice thing to say, but sometimes dumb people are good people to talk to.
Mm.
My dad used to tell me something. My dad was the coolest person, man. And like I say, he was my hero. He used to say, "Son, um, the smarter you get, the dumber I get." And I thought that was a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a compliment, but he was basically saying, until you get to the place to let somebody teach you, you're gonna always be stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And even being your father, I can't help you because you got it all figured out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We're talking right now about, do we as men, and I'm asking women when they come on as well, but do we understand the strength, the power that women have? Talk to me, Badger.
I mean, I've said it before. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, I know it still happens in some areas, but a lot of times, at least when I was young, who ran the neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
It was grandmas. You didn't want to upset the grandmas because if they got a hold of your parents, boy howdy, you know. And it's, to me, it's that importance of learning that we each have a role.
hmm
But to accomplish that, it's Dr. J said it, right? You have to be willing to learn.
hmm
And part of learning is also accepting that you could be wrong.
hmm
And I think that's one of the most difficult things for people to do, is to acknowledge that they could be wrong.
hmm hmm
And it takes a lot, but it takes a little all at the same time to put that forward to learn something new.
hmm
So it's a double-edged sword, right? To acknowledge that you're wrong is almost like an emotional attack on yourself in the beginning, because it's frustrating. You got to figure out why and all this kind of stuff. Yet once you open yourself to learning why something may not have been healthy, be it diet, be it the way you're interacting with another human being, you know, why has my wife all of a sudden gone quiet? Why are a lot of these women not wanting to speak to me and stuff like that? Or why do
hmm
they call me certain things? That should be a mirror. That's one of the biggest things out there is, are you capable of looking in a mirror?
hmm
That I think people need to ask themselves. And I'm not talking about, oh, I'm handsome, I'm pretty, whatever. I'm talking about a spiritual mirror.
hmm
Can you spiritually look within yourself and acknowledge and see, practice introspection? Are you really walking in light?
hmm
Or have you held on to that shadow so hard that no light will, you can't even see the light?
hmm Wow. Wow. Captain Leonard, talk to me, brother.
What specifically? What is the particular question?
Well, still, we're still on the strength of a woman, and do we as
Oh,
men really acknowledge how strong our women are?
yes. If you have a strong woman, if that's it, every woman ain't strong.
hmm
So
hmm
if you don't know her, you don't know.
hmm
If you're making a decision without knowing her, you're prejudiced.
So, do you think, even if we address the fact that they're very strong, do you think? And excuse me, I know what the answer is. I'm gonna ask the question anyway. Do you think some men will select? Oh, I don't like to say. Well, a weak woman just just for his own ego trip over that strong and powerful woman.
I guess. I mean, it would make sense if it
Wow.
was if that's that person's strategy. If that's what they like.
Mm-hmm.
Some men like that. I guess.
Mm,
I don't care for it.
mm-hmm.
Why would I pick a lesser teammate? It
Some
don't make sense to me.
some people like that because they could be the dominant. Some people
Right, and,
some
and that's
people
what I'm assuming,
yeah.
and that's why I know very little about this type because I don't care for those type of men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't like them really in my company the majority of the time. And usually that type of man only acts like that around that woman because most men would probably cause a problem. I'm the problem guy.
Mm-hmm.
You sit in front of me and you say something dirty about women, you got to get up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not finna sit there with you while you disparage women like that.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good.
So I'm a very different type of person when it comes to that because I was raised in a very stable atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. So
I
you
wasn't
think
raised around no weak women,
so you think it has a lot to do with
things
the
of that
environment in
nature.
which you was raised in?
Well, it depends on it more so how you live.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your lifestyle, being less educated about everything, I'm pretty, I can't really do nothing with you. I
Mm-hmm.
can't help you if you don't want education
Mm-hmm.
or if you don't want to be better. I don't sit around with male chauvinist is a word I don't hear as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Male chauvinists or toxic people in general.
Mm-hmm.
It is best not to really kick it with them type of folks. I don't know how many women appreciate it being treated like property.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't behave that way. It's not in my interest. But I do know that some people are like that, and they're not my people.
I've seen a lot in my life of living, and I have seen some women that like a moth to a flame, man. They're attracted
Yeah,
to those type men, those type dominant type
yeah.
men.
That's why they
Yeah,
get burned up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But like I said, I can't get on here and have an honest conversation, an honest discussion, and not acknowledge the fact that I have seen that. You ask them questions, well, why do you? I don't know, like when we talked about, I guess it was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, we had a conversation about women that has said to men that if you don't hit me, you don't love me. And if you don't hit him, I think it was Frank that said that he had to walk away from a young lady because she said that he didn't love her because he never hit her. And I'm like,
Yeah,
wow.
I don't care for that type of woman.
Yeah,
That's why I
me
don't
either.
know much about it because I
Me
don't
either.
care for her.
Me either. But that's you was on that day when we talked about it. You was on here, and he drew the
I kind
picture.
of remember.
Yeah, he drew the picture. He said, "Man, I had to leave her because they were sitting on." He said they were sitting on the stoop, and they had the conversation. Why you never hit me? And he's like, "What?" Kind of took him aback. But her idea of love was, you don't love me if you don't hit me.
Yeah, our morals and standards are a little bit higher over here.
Exactly, exactly. Likewise, brother. Likewise. Dr. Cook, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Hey, doing well, doing well. Dr. Cook, you being a young lady, I can ask you this question on a different level. Do you find that men appreciate the strength of women?
Um, from what I've seen, some men do. A lot of men don't. Um, but those that have their mind set and focused, they appreciate a strong woman.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've seen in
Mm-hmm.
my experiences, yes,
Mm-hmm. So majority, as a majority, you would say yes.
yes. Well, I would say majority of the men that I've encountered,
Mm-hmm.
they do. But
Mm-hmm.
there are some men that don't because their mind is not as strong as the other men.
Mm-hmm.
Some men have some insecurity. Some men have trust issues.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the strength of a woman, some men appreciate it, some others don't,
Mm-hmm.
and it all depends upon their mindset and how focused they are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. That's good. Dr. J, talk to me.
What's the question again? Because I'm like Leonard. I don't know them women that like to want you to be beat on and all that. That's some jail time right there.
But my thing is, like I said, and Frank brought this to the conversation a while back, and he was saying that he was dealing with this young lady, and she said, why have you never hit me? Why haven't you ever hit me?" He said, she said, if you don't hit me, you don't love me. You can't love me if you don't hit me. And I'm like, man, what? I said, what are you talking about? But some women feel that way. They really feel as though, if a man don't hit them, they don't love them. It's kind of
I,
warped,
I,
man. That's kind of warped.
I remember having a prayer line during the midday, and there was this sister that would call every day, and everything would go fine. And then she would just go in left field, and I would have to say something to her, and it would escalate, right? And this went on for about 2 weeks, and I didn't know what was happening at first. And I started paying attention. She was used to she was used to being verbally abused,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know she was interested in me. So she would she would get off on that, and she would call and would pluck my nerves just so I would chastise her, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
where she would feel good about herself. And like I say, that was our thing, I guess. I really didn't build a relationship with her, but it took me about a week to understand what she was doing. So what I started doing is dealing with her differently. When I started dealing with her differently, she left the line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I tell you something else, Raheem. We all have different experiences, right?
Yes. Yes.
Do you know it's there are more men being abused by
Mm-hmm.
women than women by men?
Mm. I can see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so some people, that's their thing. That's what make them tick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doing the things I do, and the things I'm involved with, and then you'd be surprised of what people look for on platforms.
Mm-hmm.
They try to trigger things so they could feel good about themselves, and unfortunately it could be like an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
you know and so it's our responsibility to pick up on it and say, you know what, I'm not going to be your drug of choice. you know but it's real, and sometimes some women do look for men to be abusive, whether it's physical, verbal, or whatever the case be, mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn to you can become addicted to your abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all of us has been there one time or another and didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
you know we
Yeah.
didn't know it. You ever had a soap and it start healing, and you pick it,
Pull that scab off. Yeah.
scab,
Mm-hmm.
and you really not comfortable with it until it hurt?
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah.
And once it hurt, you get some satisfaction out of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know Once you got it hurting, you leave it alone. You leave it alone not because it's hurting. You leave it alone because you got your little adrenaline rush now.
I'm gonna tell you something. If you ask me that question, my question, no, man. If that thing healed, I'm gonna leave it alone. Let it heal, brother. No,
There are people like that.
I imagine there might be some people like that. That ain't me, brother. If I got a
That's,
scab on, I'm gonna leave it
that's,
alone.
that's why they got people that cut themselves and stuff like that.
Mm.
That I don't know what you call it, but it releases some kind of whatever in them, and that's where they get
That self mutilation
it's
releases some
real.
kind of an endorphin or something like that in their mind, in them to do that, man. But I don't like.
But for some, it's a safe place.
Mm.
Some people that become a safe place. And some things you learn because you had to go through some things. Sometimes some people feel safe when they are being abused because it gives them a sense of comfort. It's yeah.
I
It go
understand what you're
pretty.
saying. I
Mhm.
understand exactly. I
Well,
understand
I'm like,
exactly what you're saying.
that ain't my party either.
No, I ain't. No. I ain't never been in the business of hurting me. No.
Hit me, I'm gonna call the police for you. Mhm. Be
Exactly.
standing out in the street, flagging the car down too. She in there.
Exactly. Be running behind the car. Hey, stop, man! Stop! What's wrong with you? Stop. But yeah, I ain't never been in the business of hurting me, man. Let me
No.
go to Curtis McNeil. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Curtis, you there?
Yeah, hey, what's going on right here?
Good.
Glow family, how y'all?
Hey, doing well, doing well. Curtis, we asking a question this morning, brother. And it's not personalized. We asking it from a whole. But do men understand? Do men understand and appreciate the strength of a woman?
Yeah, I think we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't, what's the quest for? Deep down inside, what's the quest for? Because it ain't just for some sex.
In some,
Because
in
the
some,
world we
in,
in right now, you
in
can
some
always get
instances,
sex.
in some instances, man, it might that might be that might. No, no, let's deal realistically now. In some situations, that's all the man wants. That's all the man want. That's all he wants.
Well, that's no, that's I can agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he's gonna let on that he wants. But in reality, even the dude that's all he wants probably got like something real setting somewhere else. That ain't just all he wants. That might be all he wants from the shorty that's gonna make it easy for him to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you really evaluate what's going on, like it's the complete opposite. But I mean, it's safe to err on the side of, oh, that's all they want. No, I'm not going to err over there. So that to me, that marginalizes the whole idea of being a man.
But Curtis,
you know, if you're a real man, you want a woman.
Curtis, I love your heart, brother. I love your heart. You my brother, and I love you. But at the end of the day, Curtis, you know, I could agree with a piece of what you're saying, but I know there's a lot of guys out there, man. That's all they want, man. That's why they go about and you want to look at the good side, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But I know some cats, man. That's all they want, man. They go out there and that's the only thing they want. They drop babies and all kind of things and they women and walk away. That's all they wanted from them, man.
Okay, but that once again, Raheem, that is a very minute proportion of our population, brother. That is a very minute proportion of our population.
Wow.
That's not what all men want.
No, I never said that. No. I never said all men.
I
said
there's.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your question again?
No,
so I can make sure I understood what you asked me.
No, I say, do we understand the strength of a woman? And you start talking about, you know, the sexual thing. You know, that's a whole different element of what we was talking about. But we initially talk about do men understand the strength of a woman? And a lot of times, huh?
Okay. So do we understand the strength of a woman? We absolutely do. Why do you think we always trying to get it?
But see,
why do you think we always going after it?
Curtis, because wow, Curtis, come on, brother. Because a lot of times, man, this is silly. A lot of times, man, there's men out there, Curtis. And when you say we, you know, I can agree with that. You and I, we, us, you and I. But every man is not like you and I. There's some men out there they like predators, man. They just out there to get it. They're out there to get it and get it from as many as they can, man. That's all they want. And if we sit here and say that there's not that element, and you say it's very minute, I don't know if it's very minute, brother. I don't know. But for us to sit here and say that there's not men out there that's like that, and looking at the situation, looking at the amount of households that has single mothers in the households, how did they become single mothers? Because somebody came, laid down with them, impregnated them, and went on about their business. Now, there's other elements that could play into that, but you know, you cannot tell me that there's not men out there that just want to go out there and conquer as many as they can. My uncles told me when I was growing up, man, which was the worst advice in the world. Even a poor rat got more than one hole to go into. That was the worst advice in the world anybody could have given me at that age.
That's not what I'm saying right here.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what I'm saying.
What you saying, brother?
I'm saying, okay, according to the latest stats, especially for our community, I ain't gonna speak for their community. I'm not gonna speak for our Caucasian American brothers, but I'm gonna speak for us.
Mm-hmm.
According to the latest stats, man, 84%, 84.6% of Black men are in the house with their baby mamas and their children.
Mm-hmm.
The percentage of them being married is even higher, if not balanced out at the same percentage. I get it though. I'm not saying that there's not a percentage of Black men that ain't out there trying to knock down everything they can get their hands on.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be naive to say that.
Absolutely.
What I'm saying is, if we're going to speak on that, please add to the effect that that is a marginalized group. They are a minority. Because here's what happens. When people hear us say that, there are a large percentage of folks that will take that like, oh, that's all Black men, or that's all men.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
That is not right. So now, when our young sons, I have one left that is single. So what happens is I have a young stud that is brilliant, smart student, phenomenal person, heart of gold. So now what happens if some young girl or some young lady done gravitated to that frame of thought that all they want is a piece of terror, and now she meet my son.
Mm-hmm.
How is she gonna treat my son?
Mm-hmm. Curtis,
knowing that he ain't that type.
Mm-hmm. We got to keep it moving, Curtis. But I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, and what you're saying. I'm not gonna say that it does not make sense. I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm the guy that deal with both sides of the coin, and dealing with both sides of the coin, I know there's another element out there as well. I want to push that element, or do I want to push that narrative? Absolutely not. But at the same time, I can be honest. I cannot be honest as a host of this broadcast and not acknowledge all that's there. I can't do that. I have to be honest. And in my honesty, I know that there's another element out there as well. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain. I'm just happy to see another beautiful day, man. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Rico, asking a question as a whole, not personalized, but as a whole. Do we as men understand or acknowledge the strength of women? Or do we just take it for granted?
I think in this day and time, since we're not in a chauvinistic society anymore, we're more intelligent. I think we understand the strength of women in certain aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know that they can't be as physically strong as a man,
mm-hmm.
or as physically fast as a man, but we celebrate physically strong or fast women. Now, if you want to talk about the power of influence, man, they the whole reason behind our movements.
Thank you.
You know, we might dress a certain way. You know, our whole motivation is to be able to procreate or reproduce. And if you're a heterosexual male, a lot of your decisions in life is going to be based on being able to succeed in that goal. Whether it's dating a lot of women or just finding that one right woman that you can have children with and live the rest of your life with, build a family with. So, you know, I think we do realize the power of a woman. And we also, in this day and time, we realize where that power lies. It doesn't lie in all being able to go to war. But, you know, some of them, man, kick a lot of tail in MMA.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ain't careful and you ain't got yourself together as a man, you might run across one of them MMA women and say the wrong thing and and they'll show you how strong they are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we live in a reality now where that thought process that we should even think about whether or not a woman is strong or not, that's sort of prehistoric.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we are up so far
Do
up
you
to
have?
date
Do
now
you,
to
do
where
you feel? Do
we
you have
do
some
know that
men,
they're
Rico?
strong, and we should be able to know
Hey,
where they're strong
hey, Rico. Do you
and
find
where their
that? Do you
strengths
find
lie.
some? Do you find that there's some men that still living in those prehistoric days where they have that caveman mentality in regards to how they deal with and interact with women?
Yes, it is a few, but there are laws in place
Mm-hmm.
to help support a woman to let them F around and find out.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do think that, but if you start acting on it, you'll find out sooner or later that it's they got benefits for women now. They got protections.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not protecting them, somebody will.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. And see, that's the thing. And like I said, I would not be honest if I didn't deal with the whole of the conversation, both sides of the coin, because I know that there's some men out there. The only thing they want is to conquer. And when we talk about conquering, is laying her down and getting what they want and walking away and then going to the next one. There's an element out there, man, that's all they're looking for. It's
Okay,
sad.
so now when you said in those terms, I thought you was talking about as far as like physically abusing a woman, or
Mm-hmm.
because you got men that like to really beat on their women,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
control them. I mean, in the most extreme way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as far as just being womanizers, I don't even think that's chauvinistic.
Mm-hmm.
Because what do you call a woman that sleeps around with a lot of men and conquers men?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you do acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of men. There's an element of men out there that's just trying to conquer.
It's both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides. We live in a society right now where people just want to be they just want to experience sex recreationally with whoever they get the urge to do it with. That's the land we live in now. That's being encouraged to endure in temptation because you only live once.
Watch this, y'all. Watch this. So, Rico, you saying to me that these women out here in this day and time are just that promiscuous?
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, this is not prehistoric times. We don't have women walking around with scarlet A's on their chest anymore.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Is a couple of other questions I can ask on this, but I got to go to Annie from Mississippi. Annie from Mississippi. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Great morning. Good morning to everybody.
Annie, I could ask you this question from a totally different perspective because you've been a young lady. You could actually speak from the life experiences that you have had as a woman and the sisters that's around you. But do you think men as a whole respect the strength of women and all that you all bring to the table?
I don't. I don't think. Well, no. I don't think the man in today's time respect, the women, respect us at all, and all that we have to bring at all. Now, let me say this right here. Not all women have anything to bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Some women don't have nothing at all to bring to the table. We're in times where women just want their nails done or some hair, some extensions, or whatever, something for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think women in today's time think long term. I think they just want what they want. But a real woman that has her depending on business, to know how to do what she got to do, and is getting somewhere in life. I don't think men really respect that. I don't think. Well, first of all, many of them can't even handle a woman like that.
Wow.
Many men cannot handle a woman that's standing on business, that's 10 toes down, that is a mover and a shaker. They can't handle a woman that don't ask for money all the time. They can't handle that type of woman. They can't handle a woman that go out to dinner and woman pays for it and say, I got you. They can't handle that woman right now. Because they're used to the women on the other side right here. They're used to those that, take me out and I'll pay. Take me out and whatever it is, I'll pay for it. That's the kind of men that these women are using.
Wow.
So, you know, that's where we are, you know, in today's time. A man cannot handle a woman that has her head on straight. And 9 times out of 10, that she probably scared the hell out of probably scared the hell out of men. Out of those type men. She probably scared the hell out of them because they ain't used to that.
Wow. Wow. What do you say to the young lady that would say to a man that if you don't hit me, you don't love me?
I say she needs mental health. I think she needs counseling. Nothing about beating you says love. It says that you're broken. It says that, you know, there's something wrong with you mentally. You want a man that beat on you to prove that he loves you. That ain't no love. That's crazy. That shows where you are mentally. A man can knock you upside your head all day long and still not care for you. I have an auntie that was dating a married man. The married man lived across the street from her.
Good Lord.
So the wife knew when he was next door at her house because both of them was afraid of him. Both of them were scared of him. He would beat one and he would beat the other. But at the end of the day, he didn't love neither one of them. He would come to my auntie's house in the broad open daytime. He would come there and park his car and stay there. And the wife knew not to come there, looking for him. She knew not to. But he beat my auntie all the time. He beat his wife all the time. And neither one of them, I don't think he loved neither one of them. I really don't. So a man beating on you don't prove nothing. And it's really weird for a woman to even think that.
Yeah.
It's strange for a woman to even believe that that's love. That's not love. Love is not giving you a black eye.
Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. You're listening to DK Media Group and Associates, and this is The Morning Glow. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, from 7 until 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you continue to like the broadcast, share it, subscribe, do all the fancy stuff. But make sure you share it with your friends, share it with your enemies, share it with everybody that you know. Tell them they need to listen. Let's keep this thing going. Toussaint, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, we got a topic this morning, brother. Do you think men appreciate the strength of a woman and all that she brings to the table?
When me and my wife had this conversation, and she said, "You know how people be saying, I'm bringing something to the table." And she says, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, I'm bringing the table."
Wow.
I said, "Hot tamale."
Yeah. Absolutely. So I'm bringing the whole
What's
table.
wrong with that?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? It depends on what you define as strength, though. Because I've heard a lot of definitions of what we feel like is strength. And every woman don't have it.
Come on.
They got something, but it ain't strength. Because they don't know how to take care of home.
Watch this.
They bring
Isn't it supposed to be a joint effort to take care of home though? Are we gonna put all that?
Yeah. I wash dishes too.
Yeah,
I wash dishes and I cook.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I can cook.
No.
I'll make you bite your fingers.
Watch yourself.
Yeah. I'm telling you. I'll season food you ain't never ate and you'll eat it. I'm just saying. But it's not chauvinistic, but I don't want my wife in the yard. Stay out of the yard. Don't go to the yard. I get mad when she raking leaves. Or put out the trash. Not that she won't. She will.
Yeah.
She'll beat me to it if I don't be careful.
Mm-hmm.
But there's different levels of strength in a woman. I believe, and it's just me. I believe my mom was a strong woman.
Mm-hmm.
I believe my grandmother was a strong woman. I got aunties and strong women. I know some strong women.
Yeah.
But they strong. They have a strength that's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
That others speak of rather than they speak of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's visible when they walk in the room. They don't have to make a noise to be strength. You know, to I'm here. You know, you're going to get some, and you know, it's just me.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're there when they enter the room because the voice comes out first.
Mm-hmm.
And they want you to make sure that you know that they are strong. And I'm saying to myself, they got some issues.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, and some people may think that I feel some kind of way about some women.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I
might be one of those guys that some may say have some issues.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You want to just talk right here because there some have come to the point that they feel like God has changed his mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
If men have not made a stand, he, God, the Almighty, has turned the tables around and want women to lead.
Wow.
And we follow.
Wow.
Because we had not done a good job.
Do you buy into that?
Nope. And I will not.
So let me ask you a question.
Now that may seem unfair.
Is there a strength? Is there a strength in a woman knowing something and just sit there and just watch and not see anything? Not, because a lot of women a lot of men could be very boisterous sometimes. But is there a strength in not saying nothing, just watching? And watching the man and go through the motion that he's going through. Is there a strength in her not saying anything?
I don't know. That's a twofold question right here. Someone will say something that's helpful. She's a helpmeet, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
So not saying something, especially when there's a problem, is a problem. Becomes a problem that will linger on further than it should, longer than it should. So the voice of a woman is needed. Because let me tell you something about us. We'll go to the store and just get stuff. Just because we got some money in our pocket, we go buy stuff.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Just because you can. We think we got extra money. So you need that voice, that structure of a woman that's in a woman. That's the strength of a woman. To come in and say, no, we don't need that.
Wow, that's good.
I'm not going to argue with you. You can go ahead if you want, but I'm telling you, we don't need that. Just as quiet as she possibly can.
Yeah.
But she speaks and she means what she says when she says something. And you won't listen.
Exactly.
Here's what she said. I ain't gonna tell you no more.
I don't say it when I say it.
I go sit down somewhere.
Good deal. Good deal.
Let's go sit down somewhere.
Let's keep this in. Let me go to Dr. J. I'm gonna ask you a question. Dr. J, are you familiar with the periodic table?
Not really.
Okay. On the periodic table, Fe, the letters Fe means iron. Iron, or however people say it, iron. I'm country, I say iron. It means iron. Okay. And if you take that same Fe and you put it in front of a male, what do you have?
A female.
So to me, That's it. That the iron is strong, ain't it?
It is.
Strong male.
And that's why I say,
Badger like that. Look at Badger down there smiling. He's just smiling. He's just smiling. Yeah.
so I got a question, and
Mhm.
I'm because I get on to learn.
I think
So
Dr. J going to go against the grain with what I just asked him. But go ahead, ask your question, brother. I believe he's about to go against the grain. He ain't gonna address what I just asked him. But go ahead.
because I like what Anna said.
Mm-hmm.
I have some female friends that are cool as I don't know what. They got their own money, they got their own businesses and all that. They're just not my wife. But and these are strong sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have introduced them to brothers who can't deal with the success of these sisters,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they feel like they don't bring anything to the table because these sisters are well situated.
Mm-hmm.
And the sisters are pretty much like they want that covering. They want the covering of a man. They have accomplished the physical things, but now they're looking for a brother who have a prayer life, who understand what it means to cover a woman, right? So I got a question. So Abram was doing what he wanted to do, and God told Sarah. Sarah went to God and spoke to him about the handmaid because Abram was caught up. He didn't hear anything. He wanted what he wanted. And God spoke to Sarah and told Sarah to go tell Abram to fix that problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning. Was that not her leading him?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
see, and don't get me wrong, my dad wasn't a person that made a lot of noise, but he was in control.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't controlling, but he was in control. My dad didn't go backwards and forward with my mom. And he knew when she called her name nice and quiet, whatever she had going on, it had to stop.
Mm-hmm.
But he wouldn't raise his voice or his hand, right? I believe there's a season where us as men that help meet, God uses that woman not to be the head. But there's some time where God will use that woman to lead us to a place for us to lead.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she's the helpmeet, because there's some time where we stuck in our own ways. We see our own way of doing things, and we want to hear. And again, just my way of thinking. I think that woman and every woman, even when it came to Mary and Joseph, if you read the story and look at it, there was a point where Joseph wasn't hearing from God. Mary was.
Mm-hmm.
But Joseph was following the instructions. He was following the voice. In other words, he heard God's voice through Mary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was giving Mary, feeding Mary instructions so that Mary would give those instructions to Joseph. When you look at Elizabeth and what's his name, she began to minister to the husband and he began to follow. So you see how that leading thing can go? It don't mean they're in control. It just means for a season, you might be in a place where God is using her to use you for whatever reason. Don't mean you ain't in control or you're not leading. It's just through her advice when that woman say, you know what? No, we're not gonna get this car right now. We're gonna hold up
Mm-hmm.
on that.
Yeah.
We're gonna work on some things before we buy this car. Is that not leading?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to get you to understand.
It is. It is. It absolutely it is. Are we listening though?
Yeah.
Are we listening?
And that's why I had to learn some things, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, the word say when I was a child, I spoke as a child, I acted as a child. That's why I learned to appreciate. Sometimes you don't miss something till you don't have something. And then when you grow up, you start being like, you know what? God leave you by yourself for so long, you know how to act later.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't speaking out of turn, Badger. You ain't this, that, the other. You get some sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take on it, man.
Good deal. Now deal with the FE in front of female, in front of male.
Okay, so we walking down the street. I put her in front of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now she's in front of me. I'm more sensitive than her because I'm the protector.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to be most sensitive. She's my strength. Again, God gave her to me to staff my weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So in the areas I'm weak, she's strong,
Mm-hmm.
right? She builds my business. She builds my ministry. She builds my life. When I'm sick, she builds me up. That's the strength. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's the shield. Because she'll pray when I won't pray. So again, that weakness that I hope I explained that right.
Mm-hmm.
She goes before me.
Mm-hmm.
I become the sacrifice. Because as long as I keep her first, it's like any man that come to get your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing he can do is get in good with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And show you that your daughter is first in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And once he show you that your daughter is first, he ain't good. You'll do anything for him. See, a lot of times
Let me
come
let,
on,
let, let
huh?
me say let me say this. A lot of see what I'm asking you for is this. And you go with it. But when we talk about male, a lot of times men say that people say, not just men, but people say that women is the weaker vessel. They're this or they're that. They're subservient and all the different things. But if you look at the word female, you have a male, but then you have that FE, which means iron. That's a symbol on the periodic table. It says iron, and that's iron is strong, brother.
Yeah.
Iron is real strong. And so if you put that feet in front of male, that means that it's a strong male. So how could you be subservient? How could you be less than? Cut it out, Badger. Talk to me.
Just because she's weaker don't mean she's less.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can't. Here's the thing. How could she come from me and be less?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say I'm beginning to understand a woman more and more by learning about myself. If I make her less, then I become less. She come from me.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know how many times I got myself into some stuff? It took a woman to sit there and show me how to get out of that mess or show me how not to get in that mess, as intelligent as I think I am. But she had to come along, whether it be my daughter or whoever. When I get a problem, Raheem, I don't really run to the brothers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I go find me a daggone sister that's gonna be patient, that's gonna sit here and think and say, look, this is how we gonna handle this.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I go get one of them brothers, he gonna, man, look, we just gonna rush in. And the
Yeah.
sister gonna say, no, we gonna get some understandings. First, we're gonna find out what we're dealing with
Mm-hmm.
and start working it from there.
From that angle.
That's just my way of thinking, man.
Good deal. Good deal. Badger, talk to me.
Yeah.
Come on.
One of the first things that popped in my mind while everyone was talking, I had to go find it because I couldn't remember it off the top of my head. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 4. The wife hath no power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise, also the husband hath no power of his own body, but the wife. You know, And it's really hard for me not to laugh when we are on these topics, especially when the word usage of head of house comes in,
Mm-hmm.
because it makes me laugh all the time. And I don't mean no disrespect, it just does. So correct me if I'm wrong, but most people on this line says Jesus Christ is God,
Mm-hmm.
right? The Trinity. Is that correct?
Go ahead.
I would like clarity before I go forward.
From who?
Yeah, if you believe in the
He-
Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when the Bible says Christ is head of the church, that's saying God's head of the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So our bodies are temples, at least according to the word. Are we head or is God head? Have we become so egocentric in our societal teachings that we forgot that God is the true head of our human existence and not ourselves? And I feel that is at least for me, where a lot of things happen. Dr. J said a beautiful thing about, a lot of times getting the advice from a woman. You're talking about that Fe, that iron. I mean, iron is in so many skyscrapers, it's not even funny. Iron is a part of steel. Iron is a part of so many things that are built strong. And, last week I said earlier, when the whole debate of what came first,
Mm-hmm.
man or woman, I don't facilitate that kind of psychology. Because if woman came, according to those texts, woman came from the man's rib,
Mm-hmm.
which means it was already in existence.
No.
It already existed
I
because
don't.
it's a part of that body. I understand. I'm sharing mine. I'm not arguing with you. You believe what you want to believe. I believe what I want to believe. That's it.
Okay. Well, I don't agree with that.
You're more than welcome to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
No, I don't. I don't. But go ahead. Make your point.
awesome. But to me, that's where the breakdown of psychology kicks in, and how we have to be careful. Are we listening to men's words that have done nothing but treat other humans as slaves, genocided, treated women as property? Are we following their teachings, or are we actually putting God head of our households?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I approach a lot of these types of topics. And for me, psychology plays such a major role in this stuff because we have to make sure we're not listening to humans, we're listening to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that to fit in society, a lot of times people find it easier to follow other humans than it is to actually follow God, because when you truly follow God, you start becoming an outcast in society.
Okay. But that's a totally different conversation from what we're talking about.
No, it goes one and the same, because and here's why. For me, I have to apologize to everyone on this line,
Mm-hmm.
because I have to remind myself sometimes that I come from a different culture,
Mm-hmm.
and dealing with this is not to be brought up as racist. I'm white skinned, so I'm around a lot of white folks.
Mm-hmm.
The way they treat their wives and the way I've seen black people treat their wives are very different,
Mm-hmm.
and it is not in a nice way.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of my prejudice when it comes to this topic comes from how I've seen the majority of white people treat their women. And I have
Mm-hmm.
to remind myself that does not mean it is in every culture, just like it is in the native culture and things of that nature. So I want to make sure that's clear, that a lot of times when speaking on this, I mean, look at Trump. Look at how many white people supported what Trump did to a woman. That should say it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fed up with how white folks treat women.
Okay. 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 That's your perspective. I don't have to always agree, but it is what it is. And one of the reasons why I say that I don't agree. Better yet, let me go to Annie from Mississippi.
Yes.
Do you agree that the woman was always here? Would and because he said let her lay down and take out the rib, if he took out the rib from Adam, I'm just was she already here?
I don't know about that, Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't have a yes or no answer on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on how you look at it. But for that one, I can say I do not know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But what I want to say is this right here. The movie War Room is a perfect example of a woman that has strength and being, you say iron, the LC before the male.
Mm-hmm.
Women are strong. That's a perfect example to me of a woman being very strong. Now her husband is going out and having a full affair with another woman, and she knows about this. So rather than getting in her flesh and doing something, going after him, meeting up with her, having a knockdown, drag out fight and all that, she took him to God and she kept him on the wall. She prayed. She lifted his name up because she knew in the moment that he was being weak.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted her husband. She loved her husband. So she took him to God and she allowed God to work it out. So when a woman has to be strong, a woman can be strong. Many women today are very, very strong. Many women put up with a lot of stuff from their husbands, from their boyfriend. They put up with a whole bunch of stuff. So when a woman got to be strong, she can be strong. And I believe that. So, I just know that, women may be, people may say they're the weaker vessel. And sometimes we can be the weaker vessel. But when we gotta be strong, we know how to be strong. Mm-hmm. We know how to put our big girl pants on, and we know how to pray fervently. We know how to do what we gotta do to change the situation because you love your husband. So you're not gonna just leave him out there. You're gonna put him in the hands of the Lord, and you're gonna be strong for him because at the moment he can't see. Mm-hmm. He's blinded. His flesh will take it over. But hey, like I said, a woman can be what she gotta be.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. That's good. Cassandra Alexander Green. Cassandra Alexander Green, you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And Stanley, come to you next, brother. If you're still there, I'm coming to you next, Stanley. We're talking this morning, Cassandra, about as a whole, not individualized, but as a whole, do men understand and appreciate the strength that women have and all that they bring to the table?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me.
That's my answer.
Talk to me. Why did you say? How did you get there?
Just because of the mere treatment, a lot of times, of women as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can find rich women, poor women, black women, white women, Asian women, and you have a lot of times that they are misunderstood by the very men, are mistreated by the very men that say that they love them. So, yeah, I don't think I don't think a lot of times men have a clue as to the value of women. Not all men. Not all men. Sure. There's some great men out there that do amazing things, but you have a lot of them that don't. They just don't understand women. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
But that takes you wanting to learn about women.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't. They see women in just a few ways. Horizontal is always the best.
Wow.
Vertical. Wait a minute. Which one? Boom, boom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
When or a lot of times when men see women, the first thing they do is they see a woman.
Mm-hmm.
They know nothing about her character unless they're extremely spiritual. They know nothing about her spirit. They know nothing about her character. All they see is a woman, a possibility. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah.
that's just the way I see it.
Exactly. Yeah, I can go with that. Let me go to K with the E. K with the E. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Fine, and you?
Doing well. Doing well.
Good morning.
Kate, let me ask you this: do you think men as a whole, not individualized, but do you think men understand and appreciate the strength of a woman and all that she brings to the table?
No. And that's like you said, as a whole, it's kind of hard because you got some men that do. And some men can own up to their own. Like, I messed up, I screwed up. I ain't been doing what I should do as a man. Some would never do it.
Wow.
They could take it to their grave.
Wow. That's good. That's good. Captain Leonard, talk to me.
How it shows off.
How's that?
Y'all know how it shows off. Because a man can have, just like a woman, a man can have a good woman, like you say, and don't do those things. Then he get that next woman, and he try to do all those things with her. And she all behind the door, the curtain and everything. She ain't nothing like that woman had.
Wow.
Because he didn't appreciate the good one that God gave him.
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We're talking about do men understand and appreciate the strength of a woman? Do we appreciate and acknowledge the strength of a woman? Or is it just Leonard, talk to me, brother.
You know, man, I'm sitting here and a couple of thoughts came through my head. One, either I'm at the kids' table or I'm over in the colored folks section. Wherever it is, I relate what a lot of you all are discussing to your American cultural, yeah, because I told him I would behave. It's a culture problem. And being that some of us want to be so much just like the other one because of the color of our skin, we miss what the Creator gave to us, and it was a way to live, morals and values. That's how I knew I was different than a lot of people. Because some of you all have accepted, for lack of a better word, the white man's ways. You wouldn't think like this if you really knew who you were and who your Creator is. All these things that you mentioned sound like something you could have turned on the TV or read in a book in the 50s and the 60s. And that whole misogynistic thing, that's natural. A woman is just as much as a man, but she has to behave as such. As a human being. She has to protect herself at all times. She is the one that's of value. Every person must believe this. This is the way you avoid being in these little cultural traps y'all talking about. Who taught you to treat your woman that way? Where did you get that from?
I do not. But like I say, at the same time, I have to acknowledge the fact that, and again, being honest to the broadcast, being honest to the chair, I have to acknowledge that there are individuals out there, And I spoke, and that's why I wanted to talk to the women from the angle that they're coming from, and they're telling you, I've never been a woman, but they're telling you firsthand, yes, yes, there is an issue, yes, there's a problem, and no, men do, and no, men do not acknowledge them. I can't tell them how they feel. They feel the way that they feel. They feel the way that they feel based on the experiences that they have had in their life, and they said all of them that's on here, pretty much 100%. Said no, men does not acknowledge them for who they are and what they bring to the strength and what they bring to the table. And so I'm going to listen to them.
They won't. But the main issue is they don't want to admit that they're 50% of the problem.
Well, let's go to them and ask them. Cassandra, are you 50% of the problem?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay. Okay.
I'll answer it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
K with an E will tell you no. I will definitely tell you no.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. We can't possibly be that because we're not the head in the relationship.
Mm.
So what do y'all do when y'all not in a relationship? How do y'all act? What's y'all point of life?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I can only speak for me. So I follow God's law. I read the Bible. I live accordingly. I treat people right. When I meet a guy, I treat him right with the utmost respect. I tell a guy right off the I'm not looking for a man. He said, but I'm looking for a woman. I'm not the woman for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dating Kay and Jesus right now. And that's what I tell them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with it. And I'm fine. That's what I'm doing. And when I was dating, that's why I'm not dating. Because the man didn't know how to step up to the plate and be the man. I can speak on my relationship. I can't speak on nobody else's. Because if he was being the man and appreciating the woman, not him, a woman that clean, cook, and do it all from A to Z, know how to hold you down and hold your back, got your back, you don't got nothing else to do but still be in the streets. Yeah, we got to watch how we raise too. That's for sure. Every man, it ain't their fault. Sometimes as parents, you got to sit them babies down and say, let me pray over you. Because you might have seen some things that you shouldn't have seen and it wasn't right. And that'll change that young man's whole attitude just from that adult in his life, his elders sitting him down and talking to him. And when nobody does that, that's the outcome you get. They here, there, and everywhere. And so they can't get a good woman. And that's it, and that's all. He didn't know how to do, he didn't know what to do. I don't chase men. I don't cheat. I don't do none of that. He lost a good one. That's what he did. And I'm standing on it.
Good deal.
And I hope he was listening. I don't got to say no names.
Annie from Mississippi. Annie from Mississippi. Annie from Mississippi. Are you all 50% of the problem?
No, we're not. Let me give you a good example right here. One of my friends went to a basketball game a year or so ago, and she met this guy, and he was a parent to one of the children. They met, they talked, they talk every time they go there. They meet up, they talk. So they eventually started dating. Now she has her head on straight, and she's all about business. She found out that he was a cook at a restaurant, a fast food restaurant. So she encouraged him to go to school to get a marketing degree, and she would put him in his own business, like a food truck type deal, and let him be his own boss. And the way she was, trying to encourage him and let him know that there's more to life than working in this restaurant. And she saw something in him, and she wanted to bring that out of him and let him be his own boss and not have to answer to people. And it scared him so bad, he broke up with her. He said she was bossing him around. The real truth is he could not handle, going to a new level. He was comfortable being where he was. So because she encouraged him and tried to push him and let him know that, there's more to life than, what you're doing. You can be your own boss, your own, CEO. You can have people under you, But when she started to push him and try to show him what to do, get him to go to school to get a marketing degree, teach him about marketing. He broke up with her because he said, "Oh, you know, you're bossing me around and ain't just right here." But the truth of the matter is, he could not handle that. And once again, I say, most men cannot handle a woman that's about her business. They're comfortable being where they are. And if you challenge that, then you become the problem. So once again, no, we are not the problem.
Wow. Wow. Rico?
You know, you said at the very beginning that you're obligated to give both sides of the coin.
Yes.
And when you say that you can give both sides of the coin, that means that we all can give different examples of a for and against, or a pro and a con.
Absolutely.
A yeah and a nay.
Yes.
So, you know, with that being said, we have to agree that with you being obligated to give both sides of the coin, that's saying that there are certain sectors of society of men with a caveman mentality. And like Leonard said, where did that thought process come from? But I also know that a lot of men love their mothers. And they love their sisters. And they respect their mothers and they respect their sisters. So when you ask that question, it's almost like asking, do men respect women? There's a certain society of men, certain sector of society of men that don't respect women.
Yeah.
So they don't respect the strength. They even acknowledge it. But there's a sector of society that does. Now, along that side of that part of society that doesn't, some of them might not love their mama. And it might be their mama's fault. So this is where accountability comes in. I can admit that there are some men that don't. And I can admit, too, that there's some women that they're the reason that it's like that. They're just telling the truth. In this day and time, this is not the year 1312. This ain't 900 BC. This is 2025. We got domestic violence laws. We got women that'll scream rape and get you locked up. And for something you ain't even do, man, that's power. Just to even be able to use an accusation to get their way. And women know they have it and they manipulate it and use that. So in certain ways, women do have power when men know it because they locked up for it right now. Man, I've been sitting up in here 10 years for a rape I ain't commit. Your life gone. So yeah, we do have to acknowledge that women do have power, but and we have to understand where that power lies, where that strength lies. Now we start talking about physical dominance. In most cases, men don't acknowledge a woman's strength. We do need to pick up some things sometimes because a woman don't need to be struggling to pick that up. And then you got the chauvinistic male that feel like they should just dominate and control a woman and she should just be barefoot and pregnant. And now we talking about just men sexualizing women. Yes, that happens too. And it also happens on the other side. So, I mean, Leonard was right. There is some accountability on both sides, but we can't deny that there are men with that westernized European caveman. You said the key word, caveman. We ain't come from no cave. And if we like to go back and talk about our culture and know where we came from. Well, where we came from, they respect women. They might have 10, 11, or 12 wives. But from what we understand, they also respect their women over there in Africa, the motherland. So
Rico, you would say that
we have to just
Rico, you would say that women are 50% of the problem
in today's time. And it depends on what area you are talking about. Because like I said, this ain't pre-civil rights, or this ain't, pre-feminism or women's liberation. This is we're not in women before women's suffrage days. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're in a situation now where the government actually enforces the rights of a woman. just like they enforce the rights of black people. But we also know that there are some people still that don't acknowledge the rights of the strength of black people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's true. There are some men that don't, but we have to, women got to acknowledge the men that do, just like they have to acknowledge the women that might be the part of the problem.
Mm-hmm. So do you think there's and we're gonna move on to, got quite a few people, I want to move on to them as well. But let me ask you this question, Rico. Do you think there's an element of men out here that's gun-ho, jet set about holding the woman back and not let them elevate to their full potential?
Oh yeah, they exist. That's what I said from the very beginning. There is a sector of men that actually do believe in that chauvinistic thought process.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it's not all men, because if it was all men, I don't think men would respect the mothers.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, talk to me, brother. Tucson.
I thought you was going to limit my conversation.
No, sir. No, sir. Hey, you got the floor, brother. Talk to me.
Well, let me just say this.
And stop hitting me in my gut too, man.
Okay. like this strong spiritual woman that has a husband that may not go to church, but he takes care of his house. He doesn't go out, does this and that and the other. But she comes home and tell him what her pastor say. Just let that set that right for a minute.
Mm-hmm. I know where you're going.
Because when we ain't nobody want to hear what I wish you would come and tell me somebody else laying down the rules in this house. I wish you would.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what your pastor say?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just throw it out there like that. Because what this thing is now, and it's wise to have support or to support. But see, and I'm careful about what I say because I can go on really the deep end, and me and Leonard be sitting in the corner by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have compromised our morals and values to the point where we see this trend that is going on, and it comes from here,
mm-hmm.
this culture, and we go in lock, stock, and barrel, and we have this thing that to make you strong, I got to be weak.
Mm-hmm.
But then you say nobody wants a weak man.
Yeah.
Why I gotta be weak for you to be strong? Just be strong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I can appreciate and have this conversation is I'm learning. I had to learn the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tell everything, but I do tell that I found out that when you say 50% of the problem, I'm the other 50% of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a mixture here that in order to make 100, you got to have 2 50s.
Mm-hmm.
To make that one, you got to have twain, and they got to agree, and they got to walk together. I don't want nobody walking behind me, but you can walk on the side of me. That way we can get somewhere together.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait till I get there, or I'll wait till you get there. Let's go there, and we'll be fine. When we get there, I got some issues. You got some issues. We work with our issues, and we head in the same direction. Now, wait a minute. Tell me when I turn to the left so I can turn to the right a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's called communication. But we think that I got to dumb it down because you show up. The devil is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing that. So now you got a problem. because you want me to wear tight pants. My wife, I said that, and my wife, my wife told me, "Don't you wear the pants no more." So you got to realize that you're gaining weight. That was just a side note.
If it take you 10 minutes to fast them together, man, you might not need to wear them no more, Tucson. It take you 10 minutes to fast them.
She said you can't. She can't breathe. She said you can't breathe. All right. What I'm saying is, why not accept the fact that it's possible that we can be 50% of the problem when there is a problem. And if you don't recognize that you are 50% of the problem, you're going to blame somebody else. And then you're going to blame the next person and the next person till you find out when you look in the mirror, the person that you should be blaming is you.
Good deal.
Otherwise, you're going to be kicking that same can. Good deal. Good deal came up. I knew you was going to do that, right here.
You knew it. Well, let's keep this thing, Curtis.
I'm timing myself.
There you go. I was very lenient with you, brother. I was very lenient. Curtis McNeil. Let me ask you. Yes, sir. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Curtis McNeil, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Curtis, let me ask you this question, brother, because I know how you roll and I know how you flow. In this conversation that we're having right now, has it turned into, or do you think it's turning into a finger pointing competition?
It straight turns into a finger pointing competition.
I can't hear you, but talk. Your volume is low, Curtis. Your volume is low. Curtis, your volume is low, brother.
Hold on, let me do it like this. Is this better?
Yeah, much better. Much better. Thank you.
Is this better?
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
It straight turns into a finger pointing competition because at the end of the day, what happens a lot of times, in my opinion, in my honest opinion, is both sides, male and or female, don't want to deal with the inconvenient truth of what Donald, Rico, and Leonard just said. There's the inconvenient truth of accountability and responsibility here. And what happens is it's easier to point the finger over at somebody else and blame somebody else. That's just a guarantee. That's human nature. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the women, but that's just what it is. Like, it's easy to point that finger in other directions because nobody wants to take accountability for the simple fact that I am playing a I have a personal stake and my own undermining. Who honestly wants to do that? I mean, most people wouldn't do that. So, yeah. That's how I feel. I could be wrong. I'm not always right.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Cassandra,
I think what happens is we wind up once again in a gender war.
Wow. Cassandra, can you see that's what's happening? It's becoming a finger pointing competition, or like Curtis said, a gender war? Or is it just we're not acknowledging as we should?
Well, I don't see it as a gender war. We just still the same place. I think we've been for years with men not acknowledging. Not all men. I gotta always say that.
Exactly.
Men not acknowledging who the strength of the women that they're with. And when I'm not when I think Leonard said, "What do you do when you're not with anybody?" I'm about my Father's business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sitting around crying, waiting for nobody. I'm not searching out anybody. I'm about my Father's business, and
Mm-hmm.
and when the time is for me to meet somebody, then I do. But I don't know what that meant, but it wasn't good. But no, when I'm not dating, I don't have a man in my life, I'm about my Father's business,
Mm-hmm.
doing what I need to do,
Mm-hmm.
and just as happy as I want to be.
Good deal. Good deal. Dr. J, talk to me, brother. What are you hearing?
For myself, man, I just think different. Operator error.
Mm-hmm.
I had a problem with my car a while back, and I was going to deal with it myself because I'm mechanical inclined. And I say, you know what? I better take this car to the dealer. I took it to the dealer. They told me what was wrong. I said, man, I'm not paying y'all to do that. And it's going to cost me $500. And I called up, seeing what the part cost. The part was $100 and some odd dollars. I said, well, you know what? I'll tell you what, I'm going to do it myself. And the guy said, hey, okay, go ahead, deal with it. Right. He said, well, I'm going to tell you. And so I went to the parts department. And I asked the guy, I said, hey, man, if I do this and that, can I do that? First of all, he said, yeah, you can do that. That first you got to take that part off. He said, now that's not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
He said, but you're going to have to put it back. I said, well, I could do that. He said, so let me tell you something. Once you take that part off, you're going to have to reboot the whole system. He said, now it may start, it may not, but if it don't start, you're going to have it towed here.
Mm-hmm.
They specialize in that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was blaming the car. I could have blamed the car for something that I messed up. All I had to do, and he showed me, if you look in the manual, it have told you what was wrong with it. You know, again, for me, it's operator error. You know, I will try to figure it out before I go to the manual.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go to the maker themselves and see what's wrong with it. And most of the time, it's because of my lack of understandings, because I didn't sit there. If you got a car, you start it up. When I drove trucks, Raheem, I wasn't a mechanic, but I could listen and I know when something was wrong with it. Because I was like this. I knew I'm mechanical inclined. I'm not about to turn any wrenches, right? But I'm not about to sit in the middle of nowhere either. So I knew what to look for to know what was wrong, so I could go and sit somewhere conveniently until the mechanic get there. Time is money. So when he get there, I want to know, I want to be able to tell him what's wrong with it so he could bring the part out. I don't want him to come out and look at it and then have to drive 2 or 3 hours to go get the part and then 2 or 3 hours back.
Yeah.
So again, I can't blame nobody but me. I gotta learn what I'm dealing with. You know, I think sometimes we do fall into the blame game. You know, what I do with my old car, I can't do with my new car. 2 different cars.
Yeah.
So sometimes we want the new woman of today who independent. They handle their own. And we have that old mindset, just saying, you know, that's what I had to learn. We have that old mindset that's going to work for the new woman. No, the new woman is saying, look, I'm on a whole nother level of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking totally different. You know, she's not going out there with a sickle and all that kind of stuff. She's trying to tell you, look, we don't need to do that. You know, you don't have to get a maid just because you're rich. You get a maid because you could afford one. Put it in your budget. Let's change the way we think about this thing.
Let me ask you this question: if it is a blame competition going on, who's more at fault? Is it the men or is it the women? Is it the way that the men are acting, or is it the way the women are interacting, or
The
lack
devil,
of?
and the devil, and that sounds like a religious answer, but it's really
Mm-hmm.
not. At the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, if we don't have
Mm-hmm.
enough sense to sit here and communicate on this thing, the devil
Mm-hmm.
done got hold of both of us and then turn both of us against one another because we ain't communicating. All we have to do is sit down and have an intelligent conversation. We two intelligent people.
Mm-hmm.
I have to humble myself, sit down, and listen to what she has to say. Don't cut her off.
Is most men willing to do that and not cut them off, or not just try to force their way through? Are most men willing to do that?
You know what I'm learning about the show, Raheem? I'm gonna speak
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna speak for me. I outgrew that. When I
Mm-hmm.
became a man, I put away childish things. I was one of them that thought that way. I can't afford to think that way right now. At this age, I ain't got no business thinking like that. If you say there's a problem, then fine. Let me sit down and listen to you. Because if you say there's a problem, there's a problem. If I
Mm-hmm.
say good morning to you and you say, hey, you offended me, then I have to accept that I offended you saying good morning to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, when I learned that, you know what, it's just communicate. It
Mm-hmm.
makes my life so simple. I don't even care who to blame. It's not even important to me. Let's fix it.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Badger, talk to me. Who do you think
Blame
is
game.
who do you think is at blame? Is it the men or the women?
See,
Speak from
this is
Badger.
where
Speak from
I
Badger.
know
Mm-hmm.
this is where words matter to me.
Mm-hmm.
The individual is at fault, and I'm gonna speak on it in that way because each one of us have issues in one way, shape, or form. Each one of us commits sins to some degree, and we're in a constant state of working on not committing sins.
Mm-hmm.
So to try to blame one more so than the other is not taking accountability for our choices. I
If
wouldn't
there's
even blame the devil.
if there's an issue, somebody is at fault. If there's an issue, somebody is at fault. And so, if we say that, I know what you're doing, but if we say that we're not, I don't think we're dealing with the thing head on, realistic.
So
Somebody has to be at fault. If there's an issue,
I
somebody did something.
so
Mhm.
this is where I seem to disagree a lot with folks, and I guess it's just me learning as much as I have about psychology and doing therapy work and all that. When let's say um me and you are having a conversation and we decide to open a business,
Mhm.
and one of us decides to not say something to one another,
Mhm.
and the business starts tanking.
Mhm.
Why did me or you choose not to say something to the other? That means there was some kind of breakdown in communication or the feeling that the other person wouldn't listen. So there's assumptions, there's all kind of psychology in that.
Mhm.
And a lot of times in most issues between two human beings, it's the lack of accountability in ourselves that stops the communication, that stops these things. Or we start psychologically doing the blame game. Well, the devil made me do this, or this person made me do that. Well, the devil has no power unless you give it to him. Just
Mhm.
like God has no power over you unless you let God rule you.
Mhm.
Well, rule's a strong word. Unless you choose to be a servant of God.
Mhm.
I mean, God still has an influence. He always will. That's just that's God, right?
Mhm.
So, but it's our understanding of how important accountability is. In every relationship we have with any other human being, man or woman, it's we decide what we're going to talk with the other person. We decide as an individual what we're going to say, what ground we're going to stand on, and all of these other kinds of things. So I don't play this high school he, she, it, they, them, God, devil, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We have the issue in our political arena because we would rather do the blame game against each other than go, oh, we're human beings. There are evil people out there, and that's who we need to be focused on.
At the end of
Why
the
let
day,
them have power?
at the
So
end of the day, at the end of the day, the business still gonna fail because nobody, there's no communication. Rather, one person is uh holding back. I was gonna use another word, but I used that one. Holding back from discussing it for whatever reason. They're afraid to approach the person or whatever the reason. At the end of the day, the business is still going to tank. The business is
so
still gonna not fail, not
so the
succeed.
wrap up and land the plane, as Curtis says,
Hmm.
the only blame is ourselves as an individual for not being accountable.
If I was in that situation, I would blame myself. I would take the blame because if I knew something was going on, something was not right with that particular business, and if I didn't come to you, Badger, say, Badger, look here, man, this is an issue, man. We need to address that. It's going to take us down a bad road if we don't. If I don't do that, and then the results happen the way the results happen, I gotta take
So
accountability for that. I will have to take accountability. I
I,
would.
I want to do a rebuttal to that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I could also have the thought going, I thought you were okay with it because you didn't say anything, which means I'm
Exactly.
guilty too.
Exactly.
So
And
what
that's
does that
what
create? And that's almost every issue we have as human beings
the
is
beauty of what you
assuming
just
the
said.
other person is okay with something because no one communicated.
The beauty in what you just said, and I hope nobody missed it. The beauty in what you just said is we all taking accountability, and so we all gonna come together. You're taking accountability for it. I'm taking accountability for it. Now we have to go together and do something. We both are taking accountability. I said I'm taking accountability because of the fact that I didn't come to you and address it when I knew it and when I saw it. You say you're taking accountability for the reason that you're taking accountability for it. So we're both taking accountability. We're both holding ourselves accountable for that particular issue, and I guarantee you that issue will be handled. Okay, keep this thing going, brother Pete. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, DKM radio panel, social media, listening audience. How y'all doing this morning?
Hey, doing good, brother. Asking a question, man. Do we as men, and we're not personalize this thing as a whole, do we as men appreciate and acknowledge the strength of women and all that they bring to the table?
Do we as men, you saying make it personal? What'd you say?
Now, say we're not gonna make it personal. We're gonna as a whole,
Okay.
as a whole,
General.
do we acknowledge the strength of women and all they bring to the table?
In the greater, there's a narrative, right? That's out that is very divisive.
Mm-hmm.
It puts forth a seemingly a narrative that comes across as being divisive.
Mm-hmm.
The separatists. I think the value of a woman is obvious, and it's a front, right? It's apparent on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we get into these conversations, we superficially may, blurt out what we call loud, ignorant outbursts, blurt out some statements. But if you're born from a woman, I don't see how you don't understand the value of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just in your natural essence, I don't see. But there's a narrative. There's a murmurs, right, that are kind of loud, that tends to be divisive between the genders. It's something that's trying, and the groups, I want to say the young people, but it ain't just young people, because it's folks in their 60s that's having a conversation about the separation between men and women in our society, in the world, but definitely in our society as well. So I think there's a narrative. There's some murmurs that don't necessarily seem to value women, but as a whole, when you depending on your level of maturity, your
Mhm.
level of experience, you do value women.
Mhm.
Again, there's a narrative though. See, the louder voice, men get paid more. We in situations in commerce, in companies, corporations, right?
Mhm.
And women work there. They tend to make less, but they work right next to each other. There's something been going on for years. And it kind of leads to that conversation. The divorce rate kind of leads to that conversation. Women having an independent mind kind of leads to that conversation. Being the head of their own household kind of leads to. You see, it's a narrative. You know, you emphasize the physical, overemphasize the physical,
Mhm.
right? And not put the emphasis on the mental and the spiritual and the emotional.
Mhm.
What's really there? You know, when we see each other, we're looking at our skin, which is the clothes of our spirit. But do we understand what's behind the skin and the clothes that's really there in the essence? I think we do.
Mhm.
But again, there's a loud narrative that tends to be overwhelming and will make you think that we don't,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
that they're not greatly valued, but they are. They are. They
Mhm.
are. They are. Yes, they are. So I hope I answered that right. I hope it makes sense, because as you age, as you season, as you mature, you should see things different in your personal development. And I think this society is going through some stages of development right now.
Mhm.
Our nation has been called to come to task with a lot of things over the last 7, 10 years. And there's some growth that's taking place here in this whole society that we call our country.
Mhm.
So the narrative and the value of a woman is not just her physical, but it's actually the essence of woman.
Mhm.
And we see the essence, and we're valuing the essence of woman. The
Mhm.
traits, the nurturing, the love, the caring, the insight, the wisdom, the support, the value of a woman. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, Brother Pete. Would a man be a man without the influence of a woman?
Brother James, that had the same last name, said, it's a man's world,
Mm-hmm.
but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
There's a balance in our existence.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you start getting into the makeup, the chromosome, right, and the makeup, right,
Mm-hmm.
we share an essence, right? The male and the female, we share an essence. Listen, how you gonna be complete if you don't have the other greater half of yourself?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good.
How you
That's
gonna
good.
be complete?
That's good.
How
That's
you
good.
gonna be a man without a woman? How
Mhm.
you even define yourself as man without the woman?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Good deal. Good deal. Let me keep this thing going. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what do you say to that? A good man. They say behind every good man is a real strong woman. You was a teacher, an educator for a long time, and a lot of times the kids, they grow up and they become blossoming all kind of different things, great things, but they really don't acknowledge the teachers that got them there. Even the pay for educators is not what it should be. So I'm asking the question in that way just to get back right here. Is every man owed a woman something for getting them there?
No, I don't think you owe it. I think most women, if they're in your corner, they're rooting for you. You don't owe them anything. That's like when I teach children, they don't owe me anything. If they just do better or do well, that's my payment. That's that's what I need now. I'm once again, we all different, and there are women that don't realize how precious what they have given. That no one owes them anything for it. You always have gold diggers or whatever y'all call them.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that when women give from their heart, they give from their heart, and they're not looking for anything but for you to just continue to love them and respect them. And we found, I don't know whether y'all want to admit it, but we found that a lot of times women will help men get on their feet, and then they get kicked to the curb. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, but I hope they appreciate what has been done.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you think I want to be careful with this. I don't want to say oh, because you know that I understand what you just did with that. I don't want to say oh, but
yeah,
there's a responsibility. Do you think there should be some acknowledgement for every successful man that there was a woman that helped him in some kind of way get there?
Yeah, I mean, acknowledgement is not owing anybody
Yes,
anything.
absolutely, absolutely. That's why I changed it.
So that's the part. Yeah, that's definitely at least acknowledge that that she was there. You know, that she did something. That's like, you know what I love about our men when it comes when, like, say the kids that play football, basketball, that become doctors, and you talk to them about it, and you know what they usually will say? You know, I want to thank my mother.
Yeah.
Who was there for me. I mean, most of the time, that's what you're going to hear. And sometimes you hear them say the father first, but usually they'll acknowledge, I want to thank my mother because, you know, she was there for me. She took me to football practice. She took me to special lab classes, whatever. So there's some type of acknowledgement. So I think that, you know, that men do acknowledge that women have helped them in certain situations. But yeah, I love that. I love seeing that.
Exactly. Good deal. Good deal. Toussaint, then Annie from Mississippi coming to you next. Talk to me, Toussaint.
Yeah, this is one of them conversations that either can go to the left or to the right real quick. But for the most part, till we see that we in this thing together, and it's not for me to, because both of us, a man, woman, we both are incomplete. We have faults, and we have failures. We have some, especially if you come here with baggage. Sometimes what gets some men in trouble is they try to rescue a woman from her past. You're talking about something. Just saying. If you accept there is a past, say it again.
So you can't be that a knight in shining armor and go out there and rescue her.
No. You're gonna have to work. You're gonna have to come out of that and start from where you are. That's a drastic mistake I think I've made. I don't know about nobody else. You can't do it. Just like I did. You can't rescue me from my past. But you have to accept that there was one. And let's come out of that trying to be healed together so that we can move forward with us. Not me, you, and your past. I can't handle that. Because a lot of people bring their past trying to get a future, and you'll never get that. That's just me. Old baggage. Lord have mercy. I had somebody gave me a 1962 Ford Galaxy. It was sitting under a tree. And I took it to the muffler shop, fixed the cross. Remember, it had air conditioning, had power steering, and I went in the military, come back, we rebuilt the engine, and my uncle says, you know what, nephew? He says, I'll mash it with the engine running. He says, because you're putting a new engine in an old body. And the body ain't gonna keep up with the engine. I don't know why I said that. That might not have nothing to do with nothing. But a lot of times, I just remember the old car. That's all.
You went on your own little
I don't know
tangent.
why that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have my own conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am saying is, a lot of times people say, I don't remember how. I'm out of time. Let me just say I'm out of time because I was going to say that some people keep talking about the fact that they good, but they're good and they give good advice from a lonely place.
Mm.
But leave that right there.
Leave
I
it
ain't gonna say nothing else.
Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. We're talking about, do men really acknowledge the fact, the strength of a woman and all that she brings to the table? Good morning, Mama. I see you watching over there. I see you watching, baby. Love you, love you, love you, love you dearly. Captain Leonard, talk to me, brother.
I think I'm doing a Jordan today when he talks about listening and learning about certain things. I kind of feel that we're talking about a couple of different issues, but I would hope that people would would lean towards the best way. What's best? Different strokes for different folks. If you like it, I love it. You know, these types of sayings. I'm married to one woman. That's where my focus is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't sit around blaming everybody for my issues. You have no choice but be 50% of the problem because you're there if it's a problem, right? If you ain't there, problem gone. So a lot of people, I think, you know, need to do some fine tuning on their own personalities. Would you want to be with you? Think about it.
Oh yeah.
If anything in your mind, if anything in your mind is confused about that, you really ain't available for a relationship. I had to talk to my son the other day who had some little emotional issue. And I said, I can guarantee you whatever you mad about right now ain't worth it. I guarantee you. You should not be the type of person that lives by other people's wishes and dreams. I asked the question, what do women do when they ain't in a relationship? I'm hoping you behave just as like a responsible adult looking out for your own best interest. So that's what I'm doing. So this notion that you're somehow missing out or suffering I don't live through other people's eyes that way. I don't know what you're talking about because I don't treat people like crap. I don't treat people no any kind of way. This notion that women, you know, a man sees a woman as thinks about sex, that's what he's supposed to do. That's normal and natural to do. There's nothing wrong with that. If you gonna believe the story at all, he created woman to be man's mate.
Well, you limit
now all this other stuff y'all don't done in that relationship. That's y'all's fault.
You
all these other things y'all doing. That's y'all's fault.
That sound like you
I don't know
super
how
limited. Putting a super limit on women, boy. You putting a super limit on women.
Where is the limit? Where is the limit? Because if you being all that you can be, and I'm being all that I can be, and I meet you, bam, a whole new world ought to be created.
So you saying that the woman just was created to be the mate and the mate with the man? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
No. That's
Yeah.
your opinion, and it's not the opinion or
Read
the
it.
but no, I ain't gotta read it, brother. I ain't gotta read it. No, I'm not gonna agree with that at all.
I know
I do not
because you
agree.
prefer what you want to believe,
Okay. Oh, and I
just
believe
like
what I
everybody
believe.
else.
And just as you, brother, you believe what you believe, and that's why you voice it in the way that you voice it, because you believe that. And I respect the fact that you believe that. But I would never buy into the fact that minimizing a woman to just to be a mate of a man. I would never, no, never would I. Never would I. Never. Ain't no
Okay.
way. No,
Okay.
I just don't. That's your opinion, and I respect you, and you have the right to have your opinion. That's what we do here. We don't have to agree.
Okay, that's the only thing. That's the only thing certain.
Wow. Wow. Cassandra, y'all as women, y'all ain't nothing. Cassandra, y'all just gotta lay down and get up and go on with the rest of y'all day. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing else. Y'all.
Well, that's all
Man,
we're
that's
supposed to
extreme.
do. You heard Lennox. That's all we're supposed to do. We're
Mhm.
just supposed to lay
extreme,
down,
man.
lift it up, and make it happen, and then just go on for the day. She was created to be a helpmeet.
Mhm.
So is that just? Oh, I almost said something. Okay. She
Not a piece of
okay.
me.
Okay. Yeah. A helpmeet. She was supposed to help him with the garden and help him with the animals maybe and be someone for him to talk to and lean on and be someone for him to have sex with. There's nothing wrong with that. But she was not created just to have sex with him. Is that what a helpmeet is? I mean, maybe
Well,
I
I mean,
missed.
what
I
else
may
would
have missed something.
If you think about it, we pretty much can do everything else by ourselves
Oh, okay.
on our own.
All right then.
Wow. And she can't.
I am with whatever Leonard says goes.
No. Nope. I would not. No, not at all. I would not. No. I have a mother, a wife, and 4 daughters, and 2 granddaughters. I would never minimize them to that. No, I would not. And if I do, then I'm doing a total disservice to them and every other woman, black, white, orange, polka dot, or stripe, that look like them. And so I would never say that. Never would I say that
Thank
at
you.
all. Never.
Thank you.
Well,
Never.
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
I don't even want to come in. I just want to ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't man's most important purpose to be fruitful and reproduce life?
Is it? That's one of them. But another one is to go out there and make disciples in my name. Go out there and make disciples. Go out there and
Well,
make.
I mean, just think about it. If
Mhm.
you don't reproduce, you ain't gonna have no disciples.
Mm-hmm. But
So
my
what's
thing.
man's
That's not
most
why God
important
created
purpose?
man.
So my thing is this right here. So basically, what you're saying, Rico, is that's pretty much like Leonard said. You agree with him. That's the purpose of a woman, to just lay down and have the babies.
No, you making it extreme.
But that's
chauvinistic.
and that's
what you thinking.
no, that's and that's not chauvinistic, and that's not so. Hold on, brother. Hold on, Rico. Hold on. Rico. Hold on for a second. And that's not chauvinistic. What he just said about the woman, that's not chauvinistic.
But it ain't just to have sex. It's to
No, that's what he said. That's what he
to have
said.
a mate.
Did you hear what he said?
Reproducing.
Did you hear what he said,
Reproducing
though?
and having sex are 2 different things. When you reproducing, you need help to reproduce, to create more people,
Mm-hmm.
to continue life.
Mm-hmm.
You need help.
Yeah, but my thing is, he said that's the only purpose. He said, no, but Rico, you missed what he said, man. He said that's the only purpose that they have, because he could do everything else on his own. So that's the only purpose. And if you said it's not chauvinistic,
I did not say that way.
Yeah, you did. You said you did. You said we could do everything else on our own.
Not.
You said we could do everything else on our own.
What? Yes, because that's true.
That's what you said.
And other stuff you made up.
Okay, but did you not say? Scratch all the. Did you not say that you could do everything else on your own?
Yes.
Okay. So the only purpose a woman got is to lay down and give you something.
They can too, right?
But I said that when you said that, I counted and I said that. I said, yeah, woman can too. I said that earlier. But my thing is, what you're saying, you're minimizing her to just that one role, and that's so unfair to a woman.
What do we need to come together for? What?
What?
Raise them, raise them kids that you raised, that y'all made together. Who gonna do that?
Oh,
So she gonna do that
okay.
on her own. She gonna do that on her own. It's just her responsibility. You gonna help her out. You gonna lay her down. You gonna jump on top of her and ride a rodeo. Get off, and then okay, now it's on you now. It's on you now, man. Come on
You
with that,
made
man.
all that up. You just made all that up.
But I made. No, I ain't say you said it. I said what grew off of what you said. I never said you said that. I'm just asking you the question: is that only thing that the woman could do? And if you say yes,
No, she can do whatever else she want to do, but that's what I need her for.
Okay. Dr. J, talk to me, brother.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Wow.
That's crazy. Dr. J, talk to me, brother.
Why you won't call me after that?
Come on.
Again, man.
No, man. No. 100, Dr. J. 100, brother. 100.
I'm being 100, bro.
Come on.
Again, I had to grow up. I had to grow up. You know why I'm single? Because that's a choice. Because I had to learn me. I've been married twice, right? I don't have baggage. I'm not single because I got baggage. I mean, everybody got something going on in their life, but I don't call it baggage, right? I took some time to put me first, to work on me. Because you know what? I want to match up with one of these sisters with some value. I understand the sister, and I beg to differ. I believe every sister has value, but not every sister want to accept or walk in her value. I'm a brother. I never did. I never will downplay women because I had a mother that I was very fond of, had a great relationship with. I got 3 sisters that I'm very fond of. I got 2 daughters. I got some female friends that I'm very fond of that are ladies. I understand the value of a woman. And how did I find that out? By understanding my value. And you know, there's nothing greater for me in this life than to be able to choose what I want to choose. I went through a point in my life where everybody chose for me. If I wanted a car, I had to take the polka dot car that they had on the lot. I had no choices. Now I got anything I want to do by choice. I could choose to, I could choose not to. I think, I don't think it's fair to look at women as a piece of furniture, just a place to relieve yourself. Especially, and I say this all the time, when I hear brothers say, man, there ain't no good women out here. Okay. Tune in the Morning Glow. I recommend them to other lines and stuff like that. They got women over there that are single. Most brothers think that that's all the sisters are there for, right? You ask the woman, the lady, you said, do they owe us something? They don't owe us nothing. The average sister, and again, I only represent the real folks. Any real woman will bring something, will multiply things in your life and won't look for nothing in return. And you know what? You don't have to ask her that. It comes naturally for her. It comes so naturally, she'll do it and she won't even know she's doing it because it's just the way she operates. And that's the sisters who know who they are. And we can't downplay sisters. And when I say sisters, women.
Yeah.
You know, if we think that's just like we talked the other week, man, you know what you miss when you don't know about a woman? When you limit her? You know, it's I don't know, man. It's we can't disrespect women like that. We can't disrespect, especially our sisters. It's sisters that backed up brothers before us to put us where we at.
Yeah.
And I don't get on that thing that say I wouldn't be here she makes me happy. No, she don't make me happy. She enhance my happiness. It's a big difference between that sister making me happy and enhancing my happy. When you find a sister that can enhance you, she'll outdo a sister that can make you.
Yeah.
Because a sister that can make you gonna make you what she wants you to be. But when you find a sister that can enhance you, she could take your little raggedy self and make you into something. It's like the woman, the guy said earlier, the brother met the sister. She took him from behind the fast food counter, put him in his own business, and he cried. She wants too much. She's controlling me. No, she's teaching you the responsibility of not so much how to be business minded, but the responsibility of having the value of a woman in your life.
Good deal. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Tucson, talk to me. Annie from Mississippi, come to you next. Badger, you after that.
Well, I know I got the debt and what you call it coming, so I better hurry up. But ain't nothing wrong. And if he was good at being a dishwasher, let him wash dishes. If you know how to take the money home and utilize it, it is what it is. Everybody's not business minded. So if we act like people that work every day got a problem. Sometimes. This is me. That's just my part of the conversation. Okay, when we cook and clean, when we raise the children, and the children are raised, we send them through college, we do this and that and the other, and all of that. You know, I'm kind of like, I understand what Leonard's saying is because y'all have to excuse me, but I'm just me, and I'm going to say what I want to say because my mouth is open sometimes. Just because the kids are grown and we go to church, we praise the Lord, we don't rest them, that don't mean that I still don't like to get naked. It is what it is. And trying to be fruitful and multiply, no more. But when she used to be 120 pounds, now she's 145, 55, 60 pounds, maybe 200 pounds. She still look good. At the end of the day, here we go again. What in the world? And I'm saying this because we trying to say what Leonard's saying. But at the end of the day, if you find a person that is a helpmeet to you, and you are a helpmeet to them, you walk together, and you do everything else that's necessary to live life. When you find out that that's the person for you at the end of the day, when life has been completed through the whole day and you've done everything you possibly can, you don't sit in that bed and go to sleep. I'm just saying.
But see, that's beautiful. But that's different, though. But that's different. That's different, Tucson. Because and the reason why I say listen, I'm gonna explain to you. Reason why there's different is because reason why I say that's different is because to say that that's all that she's gonna do or that she could do or that you need her for. That's totally different, man. Yes, you want to get together and you want to.
I think that was what was perceived. That was perceived.
No,
but that's not what was see, because let me just use this for example, and you don't have to. I'm not pointing it at somebody, but I have an example, and let's have as an example. We got men and women right here on this line in our group that have made up in their minds that they'll stay to themselves until there is the right person. But I bet you believe if the right person comes along that is ordained by God or chosen by them, I promise you, they're gonna be naked as a jailbird and be getting it on.
That's good, and I'm not gonna say that they're not, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about saying that that's all that you need her for.
Why are we not talking about that? No, I'm saying, Raheem, is that's what we're putting out there. And okay, here's the kicker. I think Cassandra said, I won't. If you are in a marital relationship.
I said I will.
Oh, you will?
That's what I'm
see,
saying.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
Good, good. See,
absolutely.
that's what I'm talking about. See, that's what I'm talking about, because I think that what is perceived in what Leonard is saying and what's fact is what Cassandra's saying. The reason why she's not, because there's not the right person. What if that Johnny come late? I promise you, we will not be talking about Rico, Dr. J, nor Cassandra being celibate anymore.
But see, that's one part. But like I say again, and I asked the question, is that all you need them for? And the answer was yes.
No.
Yes. You see, you answering for him, but he already answered it.
I heard what he said, but you got to understand Leonard.
No.
I got understand Leonard.
No. What I got to understand, Leonard always say that. Leonard say all the time, you say what you mean. I don't care what you meant. I know what you said, and I'm listening to what he said. He said all the time, I don't care what you meant. I don't care what you meant. I know what you said. And I'm about to hit you in your mouth based on what you said. And so I'm not based on what I know later, or no, I'm not saying nothing about all that. I'm using what I'm saying based on what he said in the past. I don't care what you meant. I know what you said. And what he said was that's all he need them for. So now you're trying to dress it up. You're trying to clean it up, which is good. Thank you. I'm glad that you're doing that. But at the same time, I'm dealing with what was said, not what was meant. Come on, man. Y'all know how I do. Y'all come on now.
I can't dress up what Leonard says. I cannot dress up what Leonard says.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. Anybody else.
There you go.
I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that at the end of the day, I don't care who it is. If the right person comes along, at the end of the day, they're going to give themselves totally to them. So when you say give themselves totally to them, the last thing on the chopping block is some people call it cookie.
Boy, I love y'all. Boy, y'all get my day started. Boy, I love y'all. I ain't lying. I love y'all. I see y'all gonna go to Annie from Mississippi. Hold on, Annie from Mississippi. Talk to me, sis. What's on your heart?
Yeah, a woman, a strong woman that is doing what she has to do in life and is, handling business cannot and will not submit to a man with a small mind, with limited thinking. Men love to say a woman has to be submissive. But first of all, give me something to be submissive to. If you're limited, if your mind is limited and all you have in your mind is sex, and you're not going nowhere in life. You're just who you are. You're stagnant, and all you want to talk about is sex all the time. That woman cannot submit to you because first of all, you're unequally yoked, mentally, financially, probably spiritually as well. So if you want someone to submit, give me something to submit to. A woman that's handling her business, she's on a whole different page. So, I understand sex and all that is a part of it, but it's not the main part. So, hey, that's all I got to say right here.
Good deal. Brother Pete, talk to me. Badger, coming to you next. Brother Pete.
Every day I dream of holding you close to me. Every night.
What?
That touching your lips with mine. No. Oh, babe. Is that what we talking about, Leonard? Brother Leonard Swan, is that what we talking
about? Raheem. You got some competition?
I ain't got no competition. That brother wish he could sing as good as me.
Oh, Lord.
That brother wish he could sing as good as me and wish he was as handsome as I am. Brother Pete, I'm using your words, brother. Did he hang up?
Oh no, I'm laughing at you. Oh,
You know I had to throw it back at you, brother. You know you weren't ready for that one, were you?
You know, I had to go on mute. I wasn't ready.
Look at people that's that don't know us, man. They missed that. They missed that. But yeah, that's an inside joke, y'all. That's an inside joke. Y'all might get it one day. Go ahead, Pete. What's on your heart, brother?
Oh boy. Well, I think that's what Brother Lynn was trying to express.
Mm-hmm.
That part. But he's capable, more than capable of speaking for himself, right? He needs no protection. Brother Lynn brings a narrative that I personally appreciate, think is very unique all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly appreciate women and want to express the importance of that. And it's not just the intimacy. We out here doing physical aerobics, right?
Mm-hmm.
When that's not what it was never intended to be. When you have a value and appreciation of another, in particular a woman, your woman, right? And you develop this thing called love toward the woman. When y'all come together physically, that's why they call it making love, because you're expressing physically what's felt emotionally. Now, if you don't have that love and you're doing this activity, it tends to be kind of rambunctious, right? Kind of like riding a horse or something like that. A wild horse that you're trying to tame, maybe a little bit of fighting going on or something. You could get that out by exercise and doing something else, right? But the fullness of it is when we come together, and that emotion called love is held in value for each other, in appreciation of each other, right? In its completeness, and then we come together to express it physically. That's what it's supposed to be about. And then other than that, making children. Procreation. It's supposed to be fruitful and multiply. Brother Rico, shout out, yes sir. I ain't respect all day. So that's how I'm seeing it, right? But no, they're not just an object, but they are definitely an object to be appreciated, adored, admired, protected, respected, and loved immensely, put up and held in great value. You don't necessarily have to put them up on some great superficial pedestal, but absolutely all the value that is there for real, acknowledge it, express it, appreciate it, make sure they know. Now, if we ain't doing that, what we doing? Because I'm not about to do it to another man. I'm just going to tell you.
No.
I ain't finna get that to you.
No.
I got a mustache. I don't need no mustache pricking my lips.
Exactly. Exactly. And Joker said, I got a mustache.
So who you gonna give it to? You gonna give it to that soft leg, that smooth skin over there. That's who you gonna give it to. Come on, we talking about the essence of woman. You say something like the essence of woman, soft, silky, smooth, sweet. The beauty of face, spirit, hands, and feet. Tender, supportive, knowledgeable. Definition of help me. Fulfillment of desires, hopes, and dreams. Package complete. We talking about that woman. And love her too.
Lord, have mercy. You gonna make me leave my job. You gonna make me leave my job. I'm going home.
What you going home for? What you going home for, Tucson? What you going home for, Tucson?
I bet you they ain't playing. You got to sing Amazing Grace.
Oh, okay. And you got to finish it off with, oh, you know what? Stop it. Stop it. You got to put this stop beat.
Because I had to say, Lord, have mercy.
Right now.
Is it Badger? What's on your heart, Badger? Badger say, oh, what's going on? I don't know what's going on.
Oh no, I know exactly what's going on. Been married for 13 years. Of course I do.
There you go.
Even Badger know what's going on.
He said even Badger know what's going on. Go ahead, Badger.
So Leonard, what was your definition of mate? So I can go forward. What was your definition of mate?
Leonard?
Oh, mate matches me.
Mate matches you. Okay. I was pretty sure that's how I understood it when you said it. So man, I was laughing so hard because watching people react. We talked. We mentioned communication earlier, and then I watched how easily words were thrown out of reaction and not communication. It happened so easily. Why? Why was it reacted to in the way that it was? Didn't even ask what his definition of mate was or anything like that. So based on how a person worded something, there was such an emotional reaction.
Badger.
You came to me, and I'm speaking what's on my heart.
Okay. Well, maybe
So
Badger. This is not a defend Leonard broadcast we're doing.
no, it's not about defending Leonard. It's using the opportunity to literally.
Well, that's not where I want to go with this conversation right now, Badger.
Yeah. So talking about man and woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So due to the reaction, it showed where a lot of the societal mindset can go
Mm-hmm.
in a moment. So when
go ahead, brother. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
So for me, this perfectly goes into the topic that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Due to how Leonard spoke, look at the reaction that happened.
Do you agree with how he spoke? And I'm not concerned about what he meant. I'm about what was said. Do you agree with that? Because remember that you're the one person always talk about male, what's it, male masculinity or whatever that fancy word you use, and how toxic masculinity. You talk about how men are this and men are that and don't love and respect women. You're the one that's always talking like that. Now, do you, from that Badger that's always saying that, do you agree with what Leonard said?
Yes, I do.
Wow. So that's
because
totally,
Leonard didn't mean it the way you took it.
No, see, there you go. Now I'm not. I just said to you, I'm not worried about what was meant. I'm listening to what was said. And see, you just took that and you went right back to what was meant. I'm not concerned about that. I'm more concerned about, and my listeners that's listening right now, they hear what was said. They may not know Leonard like that. We know Leonard. And so they don't know Leonard like that. So only thing they could base it on is what they heard. And so I want
communication plays such a large factor between men and women.
Okay, Badge, I'm ready to go to Somatisco. You definitely don't want to deal with what we're talking about right now. You definitely don't.
Oh no, I do. You just don't want to hear me.
No, you're not saying what I'm at. You're not answering my question, brother. I say based on the person that you have been saying for the last 3 years, you've been talking about male testosterone and how men treat women bad and all that stuff, and now you're going to minimize all that to say that the only thing that a woman could do is have babies and lay down and do that, brother. That's everything that you said.
That is not what he said.
Badger, I asked the question and he said yes. I said I don't care what was meant. I'm listening to what was said. You conveniently you missed that part, I guess. Let me go to Dr. J. Dr. J, what's on your heart, brother?
I the Songs of Solomon. If you ever get into the Songs of Solomon and you listen to how Solomon describes the woman and his relationship with the woman and stuff like that, and so I've learned if that woman was put here to be a helpmate, the first thing I need to know is what is a helpmate? How do I communicate with this helpmate? What I need to learn about the helpmate. But you could teach me about a helpmate, but if I don't know me, it's a waste of time for me to even want a desire a helpmate. Again, I ain't dead and I ain't gay.
Mm-hmm.
It's called I done came to the place where I don't have time to waste. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to choose just anything or choose according to my flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I need somebody that can think on a level. Can you cause me to think greater than I'm thinking? I like the way Anna is describing. it's I'm trying to be careful of what I said. I did a lot of traveling. So, you know, you learn some things. Now it's not about that physical thing, right? Because I'm older now. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I acted as a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things. So I started talking like an adult. Can we have an intelligent conversation? Right? I'm sticking with the word. I'm a word person. But can we go beyond talking about the Bible? What kind of dreams you got? What kind of aspirations you got? How deep is your thoughts? All right. What kind of books you read? Do you read books? Can you manage money? What kind of money can you manage? All right. And sometimes it's not that she's managing a whole lot of money, but she got a little bit of money and she's doing good managing that. That's potential right there. You know, if I gave you $500, what would you do with this $500 I give to you? Come on. It's when you find that woman that's on a whole nother level. And it don't make you, for one, you can't even look for a woman on another level if you still on the level you was on. You know, so I had to come to the realization of what's important to me. Who am I? What's my lifestyle? Because when you come in my life, you got to live my lifestyle. And in return, I have to live your lifestyle. I'm not going backwards. If you coming in my life and you're not an asset, you're going to be a liability. I don't need a liability. I need an asset because I'm an asset. Come on. So again, are you going to be a liability or an asset? Are you going to enhance me? Or are you going to depreciate me? And as the brother was saying, when you start looking at the potential like that of a sister, now you're trying to fight this sister off you because you got her thinking. You know, you got her thinking on a whole nother level when it comes to sex, intimacy, I should say. You know, because anybody could have sex, but can you really be intimate with her? Can you tap into her full potential? And I think some men, not everybody, some men have to start understanding that my body is just as important as hers, because she could be a knucklehead. And once I get with this knucklehead and begin to sleep with this knucklehead, now I become a knucklehead. Now you got two knuckleheads, you know? Yeah. So Raheem, I had to learn how to think different. And it was a waste of time for me to learn to think different and still deal with people in a way where I used to think. No. So what's your value? Come on now. It's all about what are you bringing, and not, listen, she don't even have to bring nothing to the table. I got everything. Can you bring some good thinking? That's it. Can you bring some good thinking?
Can you go to the bank or the credit union and get a loan so we can have a dozen of eggs? Because Lord knows they don't went up to about $50 a gallon now, a dozen. Yeah.
If you got bad credit, do you know how to start off fixing your credit? I'll take that. Just give me some potential. And you know what else too? This joke can have 50 degrees, doctors, all that kind of stuff. That don't mean nothing. If you don't got no anointing, you can keep it moving, baby. Because at least the anointing can fall on you and I can get something. I could work with something like that. But you know, I done came too far to just be dealing with some raggedy something.
Yeah, exactly.
I can raise my value up to go and get something raggedy. And that's not downplaying women. Don't be a low 2 asking for a 10.
Wow. We're gonna go to K with an E, and then Rico come to you next, brother. K with an E, what's on your heart, sis? Talk to me.
I'm just listening, taking it all in.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm single by choice. That's it, by choice. And I turn them down. And my daughter knew, why you don't? I said, y'all, that's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all don't get to find yourself Y'all go from relationship to relationship. I've been in the same relationship for 18 years. What I look like look for another relationship. I said, I'm having one with me and God right now. I ain't worried about no man like that.
Good deal.
They don't understand it.
Don't get it.
I need a woman. I mean, I don't need no man. I need Jesus.
Good deal. Good deal. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Man, I'm gonna simplify this a little bit, man. It's funny how those could complicate some things. You know, we mentioned a few songs. James Brown was letting you know how this world wouldn't be nothing without a woman. And I don't really think we thought about how simple what he was saying was, but how true it is. It's the basic root of everything. And then, Pete came in and he sang. And I appreciate him recognizing what I was saying about being fruitful and multiplying, procreate. And so, I'm going to go to this song. What's love got to do with it? What's love but a secondhand emotion? A lot of these things people are talking about, creating and making me feel good and this and that. Some people find that in the same sense. Think about it. Now, there's a lot of things I can do on my own. Some things I can't. I can't give myself CPR. I can't give myself a heart transplant. But another man can do that. I could teach a monkey sign language and we could communicate. But one thing I cannot do by myself or with another man or a monkey is create another life. It ain't but one something, plain and simple. And I got to respect that, because without that woman helping me to create life, life will not exist. That's our biggest purpose. Even though we are sentient beings, we still just simple animals trying to be a part and continue this complicated life that we don't know where it came from, but we know how to make sure to continue. Yeah, you can love this person. Yeah, that person can have good credit. His balls could be big as yours. You might need CPR. You might need somebody to talk to. Talk to a parent. But what you cannot do without a woman, and what a woman cannot do without a man, that's why a man won't be nothing without a woman, is create life and continue with God, the greatest gift that God gave us. We talking about created and all this other stuff that's people having sex with animals. That's just complete. You ain't got to have sex with another woman. You can love another man. But who you gonna create another life with? And that's the most important thing. So do we respect women? I respect women. I love women. I appreciate women. And that's what I need women for. But I want women for more things than that. Now, that's who I want to love. That's who I want to have sex with. That's my preference. So women are valuable, way more valuable than just to have sex with. But people can have sex with whatever they want to. They can have sex with dolls. It ain't about love. What love is but a secondhand emotion. Ain't that what Tina Turner said? The truth could be harsh sometimes. But I'm pretty sure Leonard wants a wife for more than just sex. I want a woman for more than just sex. That's why I'm celibate, because I sexualize women. At one point in time. But I understood that if I wanted to have life to continue my part in this process, it wasn't going to be with no woman, with no animal, with no dog, or not with a man, I meant. It wasn't going to be with a man. It wasn't going to be with an animal. It wasn't going to be with a dog. It had to be with a woman. And that's just natural. That's what I need a woman for. But that ain't the only thing I want a woman for.
Okay. And see, that's good. That's good. And I definitely appreciate it. And looking at the clock, it's time for us to get out of here. But I got to go back to Leonard before we get out of here. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? I gotta go back to Leonard.
I mean, if it's
A bit.
it's only as complicated as you make it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of you have made it very complicated.
Mm-hmm. Man, you got to understand what you said, which kind of
The further you get away from God's original plan,
Mm-hmm.
the less likely you're gonna have yourself together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you can talk about it all day. You can come up with great little words for it all day. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You can try to prove it wrong all your life if you want to. You can look right in the book. You Bible carrying, Bible toting, Bible teaching, preachers, teachers, pastors, prophets. This shouldn't be that complicated.
Mm-hmm.
The question wasn't about all these other things. Name one thing.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing that you can't do by yourself. We were made and designed for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
The commandment is be fruitful and multiply.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a helpmeet for you, Adam, to do these things that you've been doing, because everything else has a helpmeet. Everything else has a mate, but you don't.
Mm-hmm. Don't use it
So
for nothing
that's what I'll
else.
give to you.
Don't use it for nothing else now. You just
Now you have a mate.
mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Now you know what I hate more than anything, and I'm gonna just put it out there so people know. Y'all be swearing y'all in love, but you know how people know you ain't worth 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
You in love until the next love come around.
Mm. But you know what?
I get so much. How do you have so many relationships?
But you know what? Some of us has been married to the same woman for 28, 29 years. I don't know nothing else. I don't know nothing else.
Right.
I don't know.
So you know, to me, how other people live and the alternatives and things is their business.
Mm-hmm.
But when you can ask, some people say, "Well, I imagine one of my wife to come on the phone because he spoken to my wife on several occasions."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not ready.
Mm-hmm.
You're not ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't play games around here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't try to live other people's lives, try to fit into other people's pictures on what they think perfect lives should be. My wife is with me to this day because I remember what made me make the decision. She said, "Wherever you go, I go."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we've been together ever since.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are partners in this thing called life. And then when we leave here, guess what? It changes.
Mm-hmm. But see, my thing is this right
because
here.
The
like
earth
I said,
is till death do us part.
Yeah. And see that, and there you go.
Now we're
right
not
there.
going into
Listen to
death
me.
together.
Leonard, my thing is this right here, and you see a lot of people jumping all over the place with different people. Like I said, man, my wife and I, we were married was right at 29. Could be 29 years, the latter part of this year. And I don't all this jumping around and willy nitty and all. I don't know nothing about all. I don't know about all that stuff, man. I don't know about all this stuff. We've been together for 20.
Like I say, you match or mate with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and you be there.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
My wife's going somewhere right now. I'm gonna be happy to see her when she come back. You know why? Because she don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Raheem, can I say that
That's
why right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things right there that you and Leonard is saying that made me make the decisions that I made.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get into this relationship and that relationship and this and that, and you start blaming people. And sometimes you just need to get somewhere by yourself, sit down, go over there in the corner, sit down, figure out who you are, what's best for you, who's best for you, and then make a decision. But if you don't have the right people around you who have those type of relationships, you'll never know that even exists.
I'm gonna say this. One thing I had to learn, and I know this is gonna be taken all the people are gonna take this and run with all kind of different ways. I talk a lot, y'all. Yeah, I know y'all don't. I know y'all don't believe that, but I talk a lot.
No.
I had to learn in being with my wife and us being together. I had to learn when to sit down and shut my doggone mouth. I know y'all don't believe I could do that, but I had to learn that. Cut it out, Badger. Cut it out,
Miracles
Badger.
do happen.
I had to learn how to, sit down and shut my mouth, and listen. How Wesley Snipes say in that movie, listen to the woman. White man can't jump. He said, just listen to the woman. Listen to the woman. Listen to the woman. And Cassandra, that's a hard trick, but I had to learn it, Cassandra. Cassandra Alexander Green, you there? Cassandra, wake up. See. How about
You say you don't listen loud enough, so she ain't talking to you.
Exactly. And I must not be a good listener. K with an E, what'd you say to that?
Let's get off mute. What's going on?
I say I had to learn how to sit down. Dealing with my wife, I had to learn how to sit down and shut my mouth and just listen. Is that a good quality?
Yes, it is. It's a good quality for every individual.
Mm-hmm.
To just sit down and listen sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how headstrong you are, just listen.
Mm-hmm. Just listen. Cut it out, Badger.
I had to learn to do that too.
Mm-hmm. I ain't fooling with you. Listen, I'm looking at the clock, man. It's already what is it? 10:15. Yeah, it's time for us to get out of here for today. I'm gonna catch you in the middle of your laughing, Badger. Badger, what's going on at 3 o'clock today?
I don't know how to say all that. I just know you go to the DKM Media website.
You don't know how to say.
And it also comes back on Facebook and Twitch if you got links for that when it gets reposted. So you can go rewatch it anywhere that it's streaming at right now.
There you go. Hey, Willie. Watch this. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Look here. I'm gonna tell you how we do this thing. Watch this. Captain Leonard. Leonard.
Yes, sir.
Help him out, Leonard. What's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir?
If you did not get a chance to hear this show in its entirety, log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3 o'clock Eastern today.
Good deal. See, Badger, that's how you do. You gotta remember that, Badger. Leonard did a good job, didn't he?
According to your standards, yeah.
Oh, your standards. He didn't. Leonard, he said you didn't do good, brother. He said
I didn't. That's not what I said either. Just expecting me to say that same thing. I'm just like, I watch on Twitch. What you talking about? It gets reposted on there.
Hey, Badger. Leonard said he's gonna do better. He said based on that, he's going to do better. All right, y'all ready for the pledge? KD, you saying the pledge with us?
Always.
Toussaint?
Yeah.
Okay, now Jay. Right.
Yeah.
You said yeah? Okay, good deal. And everybody else. If you can say it with me, say it with me. Follow the line. Let's do this. Let's do this together as a team, family. I will take this day.
I will take this day.
I will take this day.
And be the best that I can be.
And be the best that I can be.
Best that I can be.
Do the best that I can.
Do the best that I can.
And help as many people as I can to do the same thing.
And help as many people as I can to do the same thing.
I promise to do it with love.
I promise to do it with love.
Compassion. And the grace of God.
In the grace of God.
Giving him all the honor.
Giving him all the honor.
All the praise.
All the praise.
And all of the glory.
And all of the glory.
In the name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
In the name of my
name
Lord
of our
and
Lord
Savior
and Savior
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Kay with an E, pray us out, sis.
Father God, we come to you with bowed heads and humble hearts, Father God. Father God, we just thank you for another day, Father God, for another fresh Monday and another week, Father God, that we know you're going to carry us with, Father God. We ask you to continue to bless this broadcast, bless Raheem and his family, bless his mom, Father God, bless his comings and goings, Father God. Bless all of our coming and going. As we leave this air today, Father God, and to our listeners, Father God, that you bless each and last one of us. As we leave this line with a fresh start, a new heart, to go out and do your work, Father God. Praise you, Father God, and just let them see that your light shines through us, Father God. We ask you to look on all the sick and the shut-in, men, women, and children that's homeless and incarcerated, and looking on Sister Williams, Father God, because she's traveling, Father God, and you know what it is. We just ask you to just have her safe traveling and bring her back to the line with a praise report, how she enjoyed herself, Father God. We love you. We give you praise. Continue to looking on all of our women that's represented on the prayer line and looking on our men. And we pray for our nation, Father God, because we know that our nation is your nation. You created it, and we know that you're in control. We're just giving it all to you. We're lifting it up to heaven. All these prayers, the blessings come to you and store upon us. In your sweet Son, Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. We are about to get out of here for today. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK and Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:21. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Give somebody some love and truth. They would appreciate it. And I'm sure that you will as well. Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow morning, if God says the same. Love you, and please be blessed.
Welcome to the stage where hearts unfold in the morning glow, stories untold. Let's paint with words, a masterpiece of art, where dialogues bloom, igniting in every heart. Let's tap into the ocean of thoughts, where waves of healing gently salt. Let's paint with words, a masterpiece of art, where dialogues bloom, igniting every heart. Let's dive into the ocean of thoughts, where waves of healing gently sought. Together we'll mend, stitch by stitch, in the morning glow. Let's make the switch. A symphony of voices, harmonizing the air, echoing truth, banishing despair. Let's sow seeds of unity, watch them grow in this garden of hope under the morning glow. Let's bridge the gaps, erase the line, in the tapestry of hearts let love shine. With every word, a step we take towards a brighter dawn for all our sake. Welcome to the morning glow, where dreams take flight in this realm of possibilities. Let's unite, together we stand, hand in hand, healing the nation across the land. Let's dive into the ocean of thoughts, where waves of healing gently sought. Together we'll mend, stitch by stitch, in the morning glow. Let's make the switch. Let's dive into the ocean of thoughts, where waves of healing